It's showtime. Are you gonna be the type of parents that take your kids' Halloween candy?
No, that's cruel.
My mom would do that to me. Yeah.
That explains
so
a lot.
Sad.
That's why you're broken.
So you didn't keep any of it?
No, she let us have it like the night off. We would eat it like so many, and then the next day they would be gone.
Yeah.
And then she would give us like a piece of candy every so often, like from our Halloween candy.
So sad.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to Eating Good, the podcast where no, I don't like that. I forget. Do we introduce ourselves first?
Yeah. Welcome
right.
back to Eating
Okay,
Good
right.
Podcast. My name is...
Why don't you do it? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
That's
My
how
name
we
is
start.
My name is what?
We don't have to clap.
Slim
again.
Shady.
Well, you can, so that way it's
Ticka,
less
ticka,
editing.
Slim
I
Shady.
start when you guys shut up. Welcome back to the Eating Good podcast. I'm David.
I'm Sam.
I'm Marisol.
And I'm Oscar.
And this is the podcast where we try a new restaurant every week, come back, give our review, and then talk about whatever thing is going on in our lives or whatever silly thought we have along the way.
Yeah.
What is
And
that?
So today's choice was Sam, so I'm going to pass it off.
God damn, I didn't prepare a summary.
Wow. How the turntables.
Okay, I have to do everything else for this podcast.
Turntables. How the tables have turned.
Now how the turntables, Oscar. Maybe if you had some culture in you and you watched The Office, you know what that means. But you don't. So,
Boom, roasted.
I have not seen The Office.
well,
Whoa, what?
Not all the way through.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay, so this week we went to a restaurant called Bonifacio. It is a modern Filipino restaurant, and from their website, they want to share the experience of an unapologetically authentic Filipino meal, homemade with an emphasis on ingredients and presentation. As part of Filipino culture, oftentimes they also have a sort of meal called kamayan. The language they speak, I guess, is called Tagalog, and that word means eating with hands. So that's what we did today.
Some of us.
Some of us.
okay.
We didn't even name any names yet.
Why are you getting defensive?
Yeah.
Anyways, proceed.
So we had a Kamayan style meal at this restaurant. They call it their Boodle Night. They do it every Thursday and Sunday from 4 p.m. until close. So if you reserve a table on one of those days, they'll have it set up with banana leaves as your plates, and then you order your meal a la carte, and they'll bring out everybody's food on one big platter and put it in the middle, and then you just dig in with your hands. Customarily, you use one hand to eat so that your other hand is clean, and it's shared kind of family style. So we did go there. They asked if we wanted utensils. We said no, except for Marisol.
I would like to point out that this is my second time being there. The first time I did eat with my hands. Today I was just not feeling it, okay? I'm sorry. I got my period today, so my mood is kind of all over the place. That may be TMI, but I did eat with a fork, and I do it again.
I would like to add that she was being a diva.
I would like to add that she did not decide today to eat with a fork. This was preemptive. We've been talking about going here for months, and for months she's been saying she was going to use utensils.
Premeditated.
It's a texture thing for me. I'm sorry. But also...
A texture thing on what? Your fingers?
Yes, like, I just don't like the mushy feeling in my fingers.
But you had the chicken on the bone.
Well, yeah, towards the end I did have to use my hands, so I should have just eaten with my hands, but it's fine.
So let's just jump in. We each got a cocktail. They have a pretty big menu of cocktails, and I'd say they're all pretty good. Like, we all enjoyed what we ordered. So I can read off what mine included. So my cocktail was called Saturn. It included Watershed 4-peel gin, passion fruit liqueur, lemon, and almond syrup. And it was very good. It also was served with like a garnish of lemon on top. And I would give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't have much to say about it. It tasted like it you expect out of those ingredients, and I enjoyed it.
I got a pineapple gin mojito. It has gin, fresh mint, lime juice, and pineapple juice. It was really refreshing. It was sweet as well. I would give it a 7 out of 10. I feel like I could taste the alcohol, but it wasn't like that strong, so I could enjoy it. Honestly, I kind of chugged it towards the end, so it wasn't like too like strong.
Yeah, because you left it till the very end of the meal, so you had to chug it.
And it was delicious.
I got the Manapolis Sunrise. And so that one had mezcal, chile ancho liqueur, house-made orange ginger shrub, and egg white. I really enjoyed it. I love mezcal. It's like tequila's better brother or sister. I feel like because I love the smokiness to it, and it definitely came out during my drink. The chile ancho liqueur, I think everything just gave it like a spicy, smoky flavor to it that I really, really enjoyed. And I'm a sucker for any mixed drink that has egg white in it because it gives it that like little frothy, foamy texture to it. And I was between that and the old fashioned, but I'm glad I went with it because I never get a cocktail that comes in a little martini glass or whatever. And it was very cute. So I would give it a 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I would order it again if I went back.
I ordered the Yellowbird. It was Echo Spice Rum, mango, house-made coconut caramel, pineapple, and lime. And I enjoyed my drink.
Luna.
She's being a menace.
Luna's in the studio again, and she's just here like whining.
She wants a treat.
You gonna sit?
She's already sitting.
Sit down. I like my drink. You can mostly take.
Give her the treat. Look at her. Give her the treat.
You could definitely taste the rum if you drank it too fast.
Ay, Luna.
Your mama.
I don't even know where to pick up.
So
It was good.
I liked my drink.
you just read all the ingredients.
Yeah, I like my drink. I would give it an 8 out of 10. The coconut and the pineapple definitely stood out, but it was sweet and rummy.
Okay, well, that wraps up the cocktails. I guess we can jump into our main meals. So the way their menu works is it's typically a la carte. You normally start with rice. You can do regular steamed rice or garlic rice or rice noodles. I think all of us got garlic rice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have vegetables a la carte. And then your entree. So they have like land animals or sea animals. So I got an order of the garlic rice. For my vegetable, I picked some fried bok choy. If you don't know what bok choy is, it's like mini long lettuce. How do you describe it?
It's like a mixture between like spinach, like a long spinach, wouldn't you say?
Yeah,
The
but then the
texture.
base is kind of like, I mean, not as hard as celery.
Like a celery
but
stalk.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, just from a Google, it's a type of Chinese cabbage. Green leaf blades with lighter bulbous bottoms. Maybe just look up a picture of it if you've never heard of bok choy, but
It's a veggie.
I've had it. I guess the first time I had it actually was when I went. No, not when I went to China, but I think when I went to Chinese restaurants with Emma, she ordered bok choy, and that's when I tried it, and it was really good. So now whenever I see it on a menu, I always like to order bok choy. So I was excited that they have that here, and
I love bok choy on my ramen. Have you guys ever had
Yeah.
bok choy in your ramen?
Yeah.
So good.
there's no description. It just says fried bok choy, but it was like in some sort of reduced like sweet sauce, like
Yeah.
a soy sauce, but it was sweet.
So good.
And it was really good. And when it's fried, they did not bread it and then fry it up.
That's what I thought. So when it came regular fried, I was way happier.
Yeah, it's
Way
just
better.
like a pan fried, I would say, probably.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the leafy green parts at the top were very crunchy, and then like the bulbous bottom was just kind of like a grilled veggie, which was really good. And I'd give the bok choy an 8 out of 10, maybe an 8.5 out of 10 if
Yeah.
I'm just rating the veggie.
Yes.
And then I guess the garlic rice. I mean, it's pretty good. It's just like white rice with a little bit of garlic. So
Mhm.
7 out of 10. And then for my main entree, I got the lechon kawali, which is deep fried pork belly served with house-made Mang Tomas, which is a sauce, I believe. But essentially fried pork belly. If you've ever had chicharrón, it looked very similar to that. And it was just in little bite-sized pieces, and it was delicious. I'm very happy that I ordered that. I knew I was going to get pork because they have a lot of pork options on their menu. And I would rate it a 9 out of 10.
It was really good.
Yeah, it was super good. Yeah, I would rate your pork a 9 out of 10 as well.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, it was nice and fried on the outside and soft and porky on the inside.
Yeah.
Oink, oink.
Oink, oink. But yeah, that's pretty much all I ordered. Oh, well, I guess we also got an order of tahong. And sorry if we mispronounce anything. These are all in like Tagalog. So I don't speak that language. But it was mussels sauteed with garlic, peppers, and onions, and finished with a roasted vegetable curry sauce. And these mussels were like really big. Like I think if you think of your normal mussel that you can buy at a grocery store, they were like twice that size, I would say. But it was really good. I would give the mussels an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree. 8 out of 10 with the mussels. Whatever sauce they were putting on it was really tasteful.
I was thinking it was the same sauce that they put on the bok choy, because I think that's why I liked the mussels as much as I did too. I'd probably give it around an 8 out of 10 as well, for sure.
It was really good. I would give it like a 7.8 out of 10. I feel like the sauce is really like the winner here. But they were huge. I wasn't expecting them to be that huge either. They were really good.
Mine's going down to 7.5 for one reason. I had 3. 2 of them, of the 3, were great. But one of them was really sandy. Like I bit it and it was like gristly. Like every bite, so I just swallowed most of it.
Was it the third one?
No, it was the first one actually. So I was like,
so you didn't know if you wanted to eat anymore?
Yeah, because that's one of my least favorite mouth textures. Is like when you go to the beach and you accidentally get sand and you
they
can't
must
get
have
it
not
off.
like cleaned it
Well,
I
and
guess.
obviously it's not against them because I've had mussels and oysters and stuff in the past, and
It
it's
just
like
happens.
it just happens. So I just have to knock it down 0.5. Not a big deal, but the second two.
No, 0.5 is a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, I hate the sand.
I
So.
mean,
Yeah.
it's a texture. Yeah.
I think it must have been like one they just missed, because the 2 that I had was like, I didn't feel any like sand.
None of mine were sandy.
It was just that one out of the bunch then.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think I picked my mussel first, and I just grabbed the most loaded up one, and then I bit it. I was like, oh, that's rough. And it was like I've had it before where it was just a little grain. This one had seemed like a couple, because I switched sides with where I chewed it, and I was like, nope, still
It
bad.
was like
Just
a spoonful of sand.
and just like swallowed it. But the sauce, great.
Hate to see it. I can talk about what I got. So I got the garlic rice with eggplant, and then for my meat, I got the sisig, however you want to pronounce it. The menu says it's medley of crispy and grilled pork, sauteed with peppers, onions, served with a soft-boiled egg, and finished with red pepper aioli. The reason I say that's what the menu said is because mine didn't come with a soft-boiled egg.
Yeah, now that you
true.
read that off, that was definitely missing. That would have been so good.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, it was like a bunch of just like cut up pork and like pork belly with a sauce on top, and then there was like 2 like little Thai chili peppers, like little red peppers. They were really spicy, but the whole thing was awesome. Like every single bite had some fat to it and some meat to it, and it just was good all the way. I actually am gonna give it a 10 out of 10.
Wow.
Wow.
Like I think because it had so much meat that like threw me off, because normally when you get something like that, it's like meat and then they like throw something in to kind of like
Like
bulk
you think
it
more
up.
peppers and onions.
Yeah, but no, it was like meat all the way through.
Yeah, I saw your like pile of meat and I was like, is that potatoes mixed in there? Because
Yeah.
like it was cubed, so it kind of looked like potatoes. But then like I tried some, I was like, oh no, that's literally just a pile of pork.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
that's
like-
so much.
And it was like the biggest portion size too, I think, of all of them. So it definitely was a good call.
Yeah.
David, next, he
Yes.
also got pork.
Yes, so let's round out the pork options here. I was like, whatever they don't order, I'm going to order, because all of the pork options sounded great. So I ended up going with Inihao na Liempo, which is fire-grilled pork belly basted with citrus adobo. And it was like, I believe it was 2 like really long strips of pork belly and 1 kind of like medium-sized. It was really, really thick cut. And yeah, whatever that citrus adobo was gave it like a dark brown color to it. You know, I love pork belly. I feel like I'm used to having it more, I don't know what it would be, Korean style or something, in a different type of marinade.
Yeah.
And so this was different. It was more charred. And, you know, just being pork belly, it felt like a really thick piece of bacon with the seasoning it had on it. But then it also came with like a side of like a soy sauce that was also kind of citrusy. And then a little pepper sauce. I would probably rate it probably a 7.5 as well. I will say, I think I liked the chicharrones better. And that one was so good. So I probably would agree with you on the 9. But the pork belly was it was really big portion size, really big slice. It was kind of hidden under Marisol's dish. And so I was like, where's mine at? But that paired with the garlic rice was great. And I also got the fried bok choy. And I was just rubbing all the rice and everything in that bok choy marinade. The garlic rice I would give probably a 7.5 as well. You know, standard rice, just some garlic chunks in there. The fried bok choy, I probably would give that an 8.5. Maybe I'll bump up the pork belly to an 8. But, you know, very happy with my meal. But moving forward, next time I probably would go with the chicharrones. And Oscar's was very good as well. If I were to rate that one, I'd probably give that one a 7.5. I think I did like the pork belly a little bit more. But, yeah, all in all, the pork dishes were fantastic.
Yeah.
Super recommend.
My ranking order of the pork dishes, I would do the fried pork belly, which is the chicharron one that I got first. And then I think I liked Oscar's next. So I'd give yours like an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
And then I like David's next. So I just give like a 7 out of 10. Still very good. But yours definitely had more of a charred taste.
Right.
Which I'm not always a fan of.
For sure.
Yeah, same. I was debating between the grilled one. And I think that's why I didn't get it, was because it was grilled. I'm like, I'm not really feeling the grill flavor right now.
Yeah, I was also thinking the same thing, but
for the sake of trying all the
exactly.
porks.
I wanted to kind of round it out, and I knew it was family style, so I was like, we're gonna try all of them. I was like, let me get the pork that I want to get, and then we'll make it work.
Yeah, because I would have rated your pork, like a 7.5 out of 10, and then Sam's a 9 out of 10.
But yours was a 10 out of 10.
I think it's just because of how much meat was in it.
Yeah.
Like, if I wanted to go and get, like, full, I would get what I just ordered today. But if I wanted to go and get, like, a lot of flavor or taste, I probably would have ordered what you got.
Yeah.
Last person.
Well, I also got the garlic rice. And for my sides, I got a cucumber salad, which had cucumber, tomato, calamansi vinaigrette, and sesame seeds. And then for my entree, I got the bianggang, which is fire grilled chicken marinated in burnt coconut, lemongrass, ginger, and turmeric. Overall, my entire dish was so good. The cucumber salad was surprisingly really good. I mean, it was just like your regular salad. Salad for me in Peru, we do a lot of salads with just lemon, and that's what they use for this salad. I don't know what else they put. I'm not really sure what a calamansi vinaigrette is. I think it's just lemon and maybe some salt. It was really refreshing, and it was also really light, so it wasn't too heavy whenever I was eating everything else. The bianggang was also really good. The chicken had a smoky taste from it being grilled, and I really enjoyed that. I do think the sauces though that we had on the side helped a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't know what those sauces were.
Helped a lot in what way?
Huh?
Helped a lot in what way?
Well, I'm just saying because sometimes I would forget to put the sauce on my chicken before I put it in my mouth, and I was like, dang, I could have had such a really better experience with it. Because I mean, the chicken itself was good, but it was just like grilled chicken. But the sauces were really good. I like the sweet one. I like mixing the sweet one and the chili one. I would say overall my entire dish, I would give it a 9 out of 10. It was still really good. It almost tasted like a homemade cooked food. Yeah. I like that they use a lot of seasoning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, each dish was a different color. It was nice.
Yeah, and when it comes out in the one platter, it's so impressive. It looks so good.
It was so pretty.
And I feel like they do make their food with love, which makes it taste even better.
I just feel like someone's mom is back there just cooking it.
Right.
Overall, Would you guys go back again?
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
Would you guys go back again for boodle night where you eat with your hands, or would you prefer not to?
I
Yeah.
would go back for.
I would go either way. I mean, I don't mind eating with my hands.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the group. You know, I would 100%.
Like for me, it would just depend on the day. Like, yeah, let's just go whatever day, and if it just happens to be
that day.
yeah.
Mm.
Would you go again and eat with a fork?
If I'm bringing people that haven't experienced this before, I would eat with my hands with them.
So you're bringing a date here? You
No.
eating with the hands.
I'm just saying, like, people I don't really care to like eat like that in front of. I just didn't want stuff in my fingies. Okay, I'm sorry. But like I would like David said like he would bring his parents there, and I would bring my parents there too. I feel like they would enjoy like eating with their hands.
Yeah.
But see, the difference is if you bring a date, you could be like, lick it off.
Absolutely. You freak,
You
Oscar.
gotta do that with your parents.
On the first date,
She's like, can I try, like, go ahead?
Oscar's like texting Charmaine, I know what we're doing next week. Going to this restaurant.
She's gonna lick all 5 fingers.
Ew. In between the fingies.
I can't get it.
That's
Can
the
you
part
get
that
it?
gets the most sticky.
Not leaving a single crumb.
I feel like that would tickle.
Take a first date. Let us know.
Luna, that was so cute of you.
Aw.
Yeah, I would definitely go back for an eating with your hands night or not. I like eating with my hands. I think it's kind of fun and part of the experience.
I just feel like for what we pay for, we were getting like good quality food.
For
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
And at first I was like, it doesn't look like a huge portion size. I'm a big boy. I'm a growing boy, but I'm pleasantly full. I was also thinking I definitely want to go back because they were out of the squid, which we wanted to try, and apparently it's a
So
whole
sad.
squid. And I need to go back to try that at some point.
Yeah, I definitely
Guys,
would
why
want
don't
to.
we just cook squid at our at our home?
In our
Yeah.
friend group?
Yeah.
We could.
We
I
could.
wouldn't be opposed to
I
it.
feel like every time we go to a new restaurant and we see like octopus or squid, we like
always
freak
gravitate
out.
for it. Yeah, that's true.
because not all restaurants have it, and like not a lot of people, I would say a lot of people don't even like to eat octopus or squid. So it's like
Yeah.
the fact that our friend group all likes
Yeah.
it, we always get excited when it's an option.
Thankful that we are that group because it's so good.
Well, I think if we were picky eaters, you wouldn't be on this podcast.
Yeah, this podcast wouldn't work if we were picky.
For the 17th week, I got chicken and tenders and fries.
French fries.
I got the burger.
I got the mac and cheese.
But I guess I can jump into our dessert. So we got the carioca or carioca. It's rice flour donut balls served with coconut caramel sauce. I also think the sauce might have had ube in it because it was a little
It was
purple.
like purple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was dope.
But
From the distance, I thought it was chocolate, but
Me
when you guys
too.
pointed it out and I was like eating it and I saw it like on my fingers, I was like, oh, it is purple. So,
Yeah, it made me think of like blueberries, like the
Mhm.
color.
yeah, well, they have like an ube based cocktail, which I'm not even. Is ube a berry? I don't even know.
I'm not sure.
I'm looking it up right now.
yeah. I just know it's purple.
It's purple yam.
Oh, right.
Okay, so yeah, it definitely could have been some of that in there.
Like infused or something. Mm-hmm.
But the donut itself, like the outside was like a fried texture, but then the inside was like, if you've ever had mochi, it was like a mochi texture.
It was a crispy mochi,
yeah,
a fried crispy mochi.
Yeah.
with
so good.
caramel sauce. But really good. So if you don't like mochi, you probably wouldn't like that. If you don't know what mochi is or what the texture is like, I mean, it's like rice flour, but it's like
It's
chewy.
like hard,
It's not
chewy
hard.
dough.
It's not hard.
Oh, I mean, like it's like
Stretchy.
stretchy,
Like
doughy.
stretchy, chewy
Yeah.
dough is a
Chewy
good
dough,
way to
yes.
describe it.
That's what I meant by hard. I didn't mean like crunchy hard.
I was trying to think what it reminded me of outside of mochi. I forget what restaurant it was, but one of the ones, I don't know if I might be thinking of something else, but they gave us like little. I'm thinking of a different restaurant, but it was like a bread that they give you,
No,
and it's like a
it-
cheesy bread that had that kind of consistency. But I think it was with a different group. My bad.
Maybe you're thinking about the ones at the Brazilian
Yeah.
steakhouses.
Yes,
That's
that's
what you're
100% what it is.
So if
Wasn't
you've been to
there.
a Brazilian steakhouse and they have the cheesy bread, that's
It
the
had-
texture.
the
David's
inside of
talking
it is
about.
like that. Yeah, I really liked it, and then it was just sweet version of that, so it was good.
So what would you rate it?
Oh yeah, I forgot we got to rate it.
Oh, the dessert,
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Okay.
I would give it a 7.5 out of 10.
I'm going 8.
I have to give it a 6 out of 10.
Oh.
Do you not like the texture?
No, I did not like the rice dough on the inside. Because I was expecting a normal donut, and then the outside looked nice and was exactly fried. But then as soon as I got to the inside, I'm like, this is a little chewy. It's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love that too.
Like they were just two very different textures, and that's not what I wanted. I wanted it to just be like
Donut.
like a bread. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, like, I don't always love that texture either. But because there was so much like extra sauce on the plate, if I like rubbed the donut in the sauce, then it was like more flavor, less doughy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the caramel on it was really good too.
Well, I guess that wraps up all of our food from Bonifacio.
So this is the first podcast that we've recorded since Sam and Marisol returned from their Italy trip.
Yeah.
Buonasera.
Ciao.
They're now Italian experts.
Io sono italiana.
Okay.
Andiamo.
What else you got?
So how was the trip? Tell us
Hot.
about it.
Yeah, one word to describe it: hot.
Hot. It was so hot.
Hot in every way. Temperature-wise, we also looked hot. So we got there on the 4th of July. We took advantage of the U.S. holiday because we knew we'd have days off work. So we're like, let's do our Italy vacation then. However, it is going to be Italy, Europe in July, one of the hottest months of the year, basically. And we happened to go when it was like a heat wave.
Ooh.
So everybody was telling us like last week it was definitely not that hot. But the week that we were there, it was just really hot every single day, like 90, 95 degrees and up every day.
But like our weather app would say, like feels like 102, feels like 103.
Was it humid there?
So in some cities, like in Rome, I would say it was pretty humid.
Yeah.
But when we went to Florence, it was much drier.
Actually, that makes sense.
Yeah. So Rome is like kind of near water. Is
It's like
it?
I think it's like kind of by swamp or wetlands.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's why Rome's historically been hard to
Take over?
conquer and siege. Yeah, because you
Wow.
get killed by a lot of mosquitoes.
Oh.
Malaria. Yellow
You know,
fever.
you're sitting outside the city and you're just getting stung by mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Dengue.
So definitely very hot the whole entire time. After like the first few days, we just accepted we are going to be hot and sweaty when we leave our apartment, and that's that.
Mm-hmm.
We're just gonna have to deal with it.
Surprisingly, our makeups looked good throughout the day. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked good. Because I'm not a person that sweats. But, like, I would get, like, face sweat. Like, I would get boob sweat. It was real. Oh, like, upper lip sweat.
That's the worst.
I've never had that before until I went to Italy. It was just and we were also, like, walking a lot, too.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just so many tourists that it just makes everything more hot. And the good thing about like Rome is that they had like water fountains everywhere, and the water was like fresh and a little bit like chilled, like it was a little bit cold. But
All the aqueducts they have or aquifers.
honestly, but even then, whenever we would do touristy stuff, like when we went to the Vatican, like there was like people like passing out inside.
Oh my gosh.
Like
Yeah.
it was so like the Vatican City has a museum called like the Vatican Museum, and this museum is huge. I would say it's like 10 museums in one building, like so many different exhibits.
And you just walk through it.
And it takes you all day to walk through it. And
Yeah.
like as we're walking through in some of the more busier parts, we'd see like people like passed out on the ground and security's coming over with a wheelchair to take them out.
Oh no.
Yeah, and like people are like wearing like long skirts, they're wearing like long sleeves because eventually you want to see like the
Sistine Chapel, and you're required to have your shoulders and like
so
knees
people come
covered.
prepared, and also
Yeah.
they don't tell, like I think people assume like as soon as you enter the museum you have to cover up, but actually it's not until like towards the end.
Yeah.
Also, these places don't like really have AC. They have like fans, and they have like the what are they called? The central AC things.
Well, they don't have central AC. They have like AC units,
Portable.
That's what I
portable
meant.
AC
Yeah.
units like throughout. But the amount of people in there, like the AC could not combat the
no.
amount of warm bodies in each room. It was like literally hundreds of people anywhere you looked,
And a heat wave. So
and a heat wave,
July.
and yeah.
Yeah, bad combo.
So, I mean, it was still a great experience, but there was like, if we would find an AC unit, we would just stand next to it for a couple minutes and be like, wow, this art right here is so amazing.
It just makes you think of like when you're at the bar and it's really hot and they have one fan blowing and you're just like, let's stand right there.
Yeah.
Like, I would curl my hair, and like whenever we would start our day, and by literally minutes after leaving the house, my hair would be just straight. Because for those who don't know, my hair's naturally like straight. So whenever it gets like wet, it just goes back to being straight. Mm-hmm. And yes, like my neck would be sweating, my back would be sweating. Not good, but fun still.
Yeah, we make it sound bad. Overall, still a very fun experience. The museum was super cool. The Sistine Chapel, we didn't. Well, we're also not very cultured, so we were like in the Vatican, and we were in this room that had the ceiling painted. So we were like, this must be the thing. Let's take pictures of it. And we're like, okay, well, we saw it. Let's like try to find the exit. But there was still so much more of the museum to go. So we're like, oh, I guess we'll just walk through the whole thing. And we're like, these signs say towards the Sistine Chapel, but we already saw that. And then we walk into this room, and we were like, oh, no, this is the Sistine Chapel.
Like, oh,
whatever we saw earlier, I have no idea what that was.
It was just, it's the lobby.
The knockoff.
In the beginning of like whenever we got to like the Vatican museums, like we were taking pictures, and then like I saw like Sam looking around, like we were like in the garden area, and she was like, so what is this? Where are we?
Yeah, then that became a running joke the rest of the time. Anytime we were somewhere, like, so what is this? Is this the Vatican? And we're like, at the Colosseum.
Yeah. Also, we didn't do like a guide. We didn't have like a guide, so that's why most of the time we were like, is this the Sistine Chapel?
Yeah. So like when you go, you can typically either explore on your own, or you can like buy a ticket where you have a tour guide, and so they'll like give you little headphones to wear, and they'll talk into a mic as you walk through it and explain things. We didn't do that because we were like, we don't want to do the big tourist group things. We just want to like do our own thing.
Yeah. Also, I'm glad, because then we would have to like stop, and they would have to explain to us stuff that honestly, not to be rude, but I don't really like care. Also, it was really hot. I'm just trying to look at the beautiful art, take pictures, and then get on with my day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like, you might appreciate an explanation of the Sistine Chapel, but you don't need that for every single piece of art.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Like a 5-minute spiel in each room or whatever would probably just pile up.
But the great thing about the Sistine Chapel room is they were pumping the AC in there.
Oh my God.
Like as soon as you step in, it was like a wind of cold air.
It was literally heaven.
And we were like, this is why it's so heavenly in here.
Yeah.
So besides the AC, how was the whole Sistine Chapel?
I mean, it was beautiful.
It was so pretty.
Yeah. You're not allowed to take pictures in that room, and you were like not supposed to talk either. So we weren't in there super long, also because it was very crowded, but we did get some good looks, and then we kept it moving.
Like, how big was the whole room?
It's pretty big.
Like, I could make my living room?
For like a room, no. What?
What would you
like
say?
bigger than the living room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like the church in our hometown, or bigger?
Like a school auditorium?
Not that big. Not as big as like our church, because the Sistine Chapel is not a.
It's
not
a chapel, right? Not
like a full mass area.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It was like a school gym.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
School
like
gym.
half the size of Harvey's gym.
Oh, okay. So yeah, pretty
Not the full
pretty
size
intimate.
of the gym.
Mm-hmm.
How high
was
was the
like-
ceiling?
It was pretty high, but also it was really dark.
Like, it was hard to see up there?
No. It
I
wasn't-
feel
Probably
like I
just
don't even remember it.
Like relative to the rest of the museum, it was probably darker. I think it's because
Maybe.
that's why they don't let flash photography because of the art. They want to
Yeah, they
preserve
don't
the
want.
art.
They're preserved. They had that in several rooms where they were like dark rooms, and especially if they had like tapestry type art, because lighting will like mess up the color
Yeah.
over time.
It's probably why they blasted the AC too.
Yeah,
for
to
similar
also
reasons.
preserve it.
Yeah.
Not your convenience.
No, but it just happened to be convenient.
I also almost lost them, like in the Sistine Chapel.
I had an eye on you, but I could tell that you felt like you were lost. I was looking
Did I
at
look
her.
like
I
a
was like,
lost
oh, she
child?
looks stressed. Yeah, you did.
I was so stressed because I kept looking around. I couldn't find him, and I'm like, any minute I'm gonna find him. And I'm like, what if Sam had explosive diarrhea again?
Oh my god.
In the middle of God's
Sacred
holy
land.
place.
What does that have to do with you being lost?
Well,
You
because
just
I
had to casually throw in explosive diarrhea.
All right. She's like, I want to
let
be
me
there for when
explain.
Sam explodes everywhere.
Let me explain. In the middle of us doing these museums, I look at Sam, and she just had this horrid look on her face. And I was like, are you okay? And she was like, no, I have to go to the bathroom.
I had to go to the bathroom, and you know when you can tell it's going to be bad?
Yeah.
Like when you know it's going to be a diarrhea
She
poop.
looked like she was in pain.
And you know when you get that feeling, you only have a couple minutes
Yeah,
to
to
make it
figure
to
it
the
out.
bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I had this feeling for 20 minutes at least. I am walking through the museum clenching
Yeah,
myself
you're like waddling.
as hard as I can.
She was going through groups. She was
I was
bead
like,
walking.
I literally told everybody, I was like, if you don't see me, it's because I ran through the crowd to go find a bathroom. Like, I am going to start running
You know what
soon.
she was afraid of? She was afraid of passing out.
And then-
Like shitting herself.
I was like, because I was seeing people pass out around me. I was like,
Oh,
dude,
no.
if I pass out, I will also shit as I hit the floor. And that would be the worst thing ever. I was wearing like a kind of a white dress.
It's like you hear the thud from you hitting the floor, and then you also just hear.
And eventually I did find a bathroom. And I'm very lucky I found the bathroom because there was no sign for the bathroom. It was just like an open door, and there was a lady sitting in there, and I was like, is this the bathroom? And she was like, yes. I was like, oh, thank goodness.
No line?
No line, because
Nice.
nobody knew it was the bathroom.
There was like no
Oh.
sign, or the sign was like turned backward. Honestly, I think the worker
some-
did it.
Yeah, like there was supposed to be a sign, but somebody like kind of hid it. And I was like, when I left the bathroom, I unhid the sign. So I was like, anyone suffering like me will know the bathroom is right here. I don't want anyone
You
to go
did a
through
good
this
deed.
experience.
Wow.
I did.
Sam is a good person.
I
That-
was like,
She almost died.
I literally almost exploded all over in the Vatican Museum.
Okay, let's say you had passed out and whatever
pooped.
happened. Yep.
She would have.
Would it have been better that you didn't remember it? You know, you just wake
I
up
think
in
I
the
would wake
hospital.
up and smell like shit. I think I would wake up just a couple minutes later and it
But-
would be horrible.
But let's say you didn't wake up until they carried you out.
well,
I
then
don't
the
think
wheelchair
you-
would smell like shit.
I don't think you pass when you pass out from heat. You're not like out for 20 minutes. I think you just like fall on the ground.
Yeah.
Someone waves a little air on you, and
they
you
always
wake up.
fan you.
Yeah,
That would be
Who's gonna
so
ban you?
embarrassing.
Security.
it was so bad, and I did in fact explode. And then it was fine the rest of the time.
There you go. You got it
Alright.
out.
It was
How was the rest of the tour?
it was
peaceful.
great.
It was good.
I don't remember anything in those 20 minutes aside from like
She blacked out before she
holding
browned
myself
out.
together.
I just remember like looking at her, and she was like,
Oh no.
Yeah, like no one was looking at me. I was just making faces because I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. And there was signs that kept saying like bathroom this way, and we would follow them, and it was like no bathroom. Like you just have to keep going this way. And I'm like, oh please.
"You're telling me the Pope has to walk 300 yards to get to the bathroom?"
Literally.
My boy must have diapers on or something.
Honestly.
But yeah, then after the Vatican, well, after the Sistine Chapel, we went back outside to the outside area, and we went to the Basilica, right?
I think so. Also, let me mention that the night before we went to the museums, we had gone out, and we did get a little too crazy with the drinks.
Okay, wait. We gotta explain a little. The Vatican, we did the Vatican on day 2 in Italy. So we were in Rome for the first 2 days. And in day 1 of Rome, we did like the Colosseum. We also just got settled in our like apartment that we were staying at. And we went out to eat dinner, and we were like, well, we want to go out, so let's ask the server what are good bars. He recommended some. We went to one, and they made their drinks really strong.
So strong.
Like, we normally get like mixed drinks, right? Like vodka tonic, rum, and Coke. And it was like definitely like doubles size, but they weren't calling them doubles. And we were just getting crunk. Also, the bars in Europe are open until like 4 in the morning.
Goodness.
Damn.
I missed that.
So we got there maybe like at 11.
And that's like early. That's like
We got-
pre-gaming.
Yeah, it was. There was like
Yeah.
karaoke going on, and then like an hour later, karaoke ended, and then it was suddenly full of people. It was like,
There was like a DJ.
and this wasn't a club. This was like
This is a
like
bar.
like a dive bar.
Yeah.
Oh.
But then it was like full of people and it suddenly was like a club.
Yeah, there was a DJ. I don't even remember the transition. I just remember like I was drinking with my friends and the next shenanigans.
Shenanigans everywhere. So we were at the bar until like 3:30 in the morning. I don't even remember how we got back.
Damn.
Blacked out.
We took the buses. And that's
On the
when
way
I
back?
sprained my ankle. Yes.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, I forgot you sprained your ankle.
I sprained my
Like,
ankle day
legitimately.
one. Day one.
Ooh,
Um,
the worst.
Skill issue.
It could have been. It wasn't broken. I guess like that's a good thing that it could have been worse. But when getting off the bus, I took a bad step and my ankle just twisted. I just went down, and then Elisiana, who's one of Sam's cousin, who was also on our trip with us, she was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Took one step, went down again. I was like, "I'm not fine." But then I was like so drunk that I was just like walking through the pain, but my foot would get swollen sometimes whenever we would walk a lot.
Yeah, your foot was swollen like the whole rest of the trip.
Oh.
Like it would be times like when we had the beach days, the lazy days.
Well,
it
the
would
travel days, I would say, like whenever we would go
when we
to
were
a different
sitting for a
country.
long time.
Yeah.
But then when we did a lot of walking, it would get really
Yeah.
swollen again.
Ooh.
Do we want to talk about any of the shenanigans?
Well,
What shenanigans you get into?
Well, so for the first night, we went to this bar called Nag's Head. And we proceeded to go to that bar every single night we were in Rome.
but also, before we went to this bar, when we were going to this bar, we were like, this is going to be a chill night. Like, just a couple of drinks
because
and head
we
back.
had just, it was a long day, right?
Yeah.
We like flew in that morning. We had to walk to like our Airbnb, like with all our luggage. It took like 10 minutes. So we had to go to the Coliseum. It was like so hot.
yeah.
My hair's in the ponytail. I look like someone's soccer mom. I'm wearing like a Lululemon top, but I'm wearing like a skirt thing bottom. And I'm wearing sandals. I mean, like, I don't look bad, but I could have looked better.
Yeah.
But I
So,
was
yeah.
like, we're just gonna have a couple of drinks. Like, I'm probably gonna have one drink and then go back.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know, at some point the DJ came on. We're eating chicken wings and twerking at the same time.
You posted me on your Snapchat.
You
I
look
did-
so cute.
I didn't remember seeing those snaps. I was like, they're eating chicken wings at this time of night. How late was their kitchen open?
Right.
Dude, their kitchen was open through the whole time.
Yeah.
They're like, our kitchen's open all night. You could have ordered chicken wings at 3 a.m.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm telling
And
you.
their chicken wings
the
were
US
so
is doing
good.
it wrong.
They looked bussin'.
They didn't actually have any sauce on them, but they were seasoned so well it didn't matter. Like they were really good chicken wings.
Dang.
If you ever go to Rome, go to Nag's Head for the chicken wings. Also karaoke. Also just strong drinks and a good time.
That's a move.
Did they give you any like dipping sauces?
Not for the
No.
wings, no.
Just straight up wings?
Yep.
European
They're
style.
kind of spicy though.
No.
No,
Maybe peppery,
I
but not
remember.
spicy.
I don't know.
Well seasoned for sure.
Well
Very
seasoned.
good.
Well seasoned.
Do you want to talk about?
And then what happened?
Okay, and so I met this Italian.
Yeah, you should talk about him.
No,
the
messages.
I'm trying to.
The messages he sent you.
But that was like, oh, okay.
You have
okay.
to talk about the whole thing.
Okay. So the first night I met this guy, I already forgot what his name is. Probably something Italian, like
Buongiorno.
no, Raphael or something like that.
Mario.
I don't know.
Ouija.
But he spoke English. He had like a very hard accent. I don't even know how I met him. Oh, you know how I met him. I don't remember, guys. I was really drunk too. Like,
Oh, well, at some point it was like, so it was 4 girls on this trip, and we're all sitting in a circle, and like we all peeped this like hot guy right behind us at one point. Like all of us, like we looked at him and we looked at each other like, that guy's hot. And then out of nowhere, Marisol's just walking over to him and starts talking to him, and we were like, oh damn, she's making the move.
Claiming her
the
territory.
balls on her. 'Cause she was wasted. 'Cause
Liquid courage.
See, I did
Yeah.
not remember that, but I guess I did that. And then we were talking. What we were talking about, I have no idea. When.
They were talking.
Yeah, we were just talking.
There might have been some dancing. Maybe.
There was some dancing.
You don't
We
have-
might have like had a peck or two.
Okay.
Excuse
There might have
you.
been some making out.
Why would you stop there?
How dare you, Oscar? I'm a lady. I had just gone to the Sistine Chapel.
No, that was the next day.
Oh, no,
That was
yeah.
the point of the story.
Oh, okay. Anyways, so he was really cool, but also I had like this guy on Hinge had also messaged me.
We turned our Hinge to Italy Hinge.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, this guy like messaged me at some point during the day, like, hey, like me and my friend are in town. If you and like one of your friends wants to like get a drink or at some point tonight.
And this would have been like at 8 p.m. He messaged her.
Yeah, but I didn't message back because I have no balls. Anyways.
Until she had some liquid courage.
At some point, literally at 1 a.m, I look at my Hinge and like I was like, oh, I forgot this guy like messaged me. And I literally just messaged him back, come to
Nag's Head.
Come to Nag's Head! Exclamation point. Literally. Nothing else. No address.
She just like, come to Nag's Head.
Come to Nag's Head.
This man said, on my way.
And I showed her and I was like, oh my God, what did I do? Because I was still talking to this Italian guy.
Yes.
But at some point, like me and the Italian guy stopped like talking, and then I get another message from the guy on Hinge saying like, we're here, where are you? But I guess I didn't read it. I think I was like on the dance floor, and then this guy came up to me and he was like saying something to me, and he was like, are you Marisol? I was like, yeah. And I was like, wait, are you the guy from Hinge? He's like, yeah. He was actually pretty cute. I was too drunk to actually have like a conversation with him. I'm pretty sure he did buy me a drink and we were like talking, but I don't even know what we were talking about. But super nice guy. In the meantime, he did bring his friend, and like his friend was talking to Sam, and she probably remembers our conversation.
Yeah, I remember my conversation with his friend.
How was it? How was he? Was he nice?
Yeah, he was nice. So, well, should I talk about the first person I
So
talked to?
were both those guys, like the Hinge guys, Italian?
No. Which I guess we can get into. But I'll rewind a little bit on the story. While Alex is talking to this Italian man, I was like, I want to talk to somebody. And there was this Cuban guy that had been talking to like our group earlier, just like casually. And so I just walked up to the Cuban guy and I was like, hey, what's up? And then we just started talking. And then they started playing bachata and we started dancing. I was like, my life is like a movie right now. This is so cool.
I know.
You pray love like an
And it was funny because I asked like how old he was. He's like, oh, I'm old. I don't want to tell you. I was like, how old are you? He was like, I'm 27. I was like, oh, I'm 27. And he was like, oh, okay. Like he definitely thought I was younger than 27, which I was like,
so
thank
funny.
you very much. Yes, I am 22. But yeah, it was fun.
And then
We danced. We might have made out a bit. And then...
Might have. Oh, no one said okay.
well, because at least she owned up to it. You were
I
like,
said
yeah,
I had a pecker too.
And that's not accurate. You did not have just the pecker.
Anyways.
So whatever. We might have danced. We might have made out a bit. But then eventually, like, he was dancing with his friends. I was like, I'm going to go find my friends. Which is good because at that time, that's when your Hinge guy showed up with his friend. So the guy I was talking to was German. Was your friend Hinge dude German?
I don't know.
I don't think
so. I think he's American, honestly.
he might have been. But I know like they met in school or something and they were traveling together.
Okay.
I have zero clue. But he was nice.
Yeah. And the German guy was really nice. He bought me a shot of tequila. And I was very strict with like the girls. I was like, I'm not taking any shots. Don't even think about buying me any.
This
And
bitch.
then this guy bought me one and I took it. And they're like, oh wow, you're gonna take a shot when a boy buys it for you. I was like, I'm not gonna be rude and say no. And I'm not gonna look like a wimp by not taking the shot. So I was like, I'm gonna take the shot and I'm gonna do it like a champ. And I did. But yeah, then I told him to add me on Instagram and I accidentally followed him on the Eating Good podcast and he followed back. So he does follow this podcast.
Hey,
and the next day he messaged me and was like, why a food Instagram? And I was like, oh, so sorry, that's the wrong Instagram. And then I followed him on my real one and he followed me back. So yeah, anyways, if you're listening, hi.
Good to have you here.
What did they say? Guten Tag?
Guten Tag. I don't know. But he said he's going to Peru in March.
Ooh.
But we won't be there in March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might be going to
Did
Peru
he say how long
in
he's
May.
staying?
Well, that's the thing. He said either 6 weeks or 6 months.
That's a big
I
difference.
don't entirely remember. So if he's there for 6 months, we will be in Peru at the same time.
Yeah, we could go out and you can see him
I'll
again.
hit him up.
Yeah.
If it's 6 weeks, March, April, May, probably won't see him.
No.
If it's 6 days, definitely won't see him.
Yeah. 6 hours? No.
Yeah, slim chance.
Anyways, that was night 1. So the next day when we went to the chapel, we were like, we gotta pray our sins away.
So what time did you guys get up the next morning and go out?
We were up pretty early.
Yeah. So
Like 8?
we had to be somewhere, didn't we?
At 8. No, because our reservation for the museums were at like 10, I think. Well, they were at like 10, but we were running late because everyone was hungover. Everyone was feeling sick. My foot was swollen. But then at some point we were like kind of running late behind that. We were like, they might not let us in. And everyone was so tired and dehydrated and hungover that everyone was like, honestly, if they don't let us in, then that be that.
We're not going.
Because we'll just go get some food.
Yeah, like it's fine.
But they did let us in.
Yeah, like rats.
We were all kind of like, damn.
God was like, my child, you need this.
Y'all need some cleansing.
You need to come into the church right now.
You need to learn a lesson.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give you diarrhea as soon as you walk in. That'll
That
teach
too,
you.
yeah. But I mean, Anisiana was kind of just as bad off as me. She was really hungover, and
Yeah.
she was like, I might throw up, I might pass out, like, I don't know what's happening. I felt so bad.
I know.
So you guys got in there at 10-ish?
I want to say like 11.
Okay.
Yeah, we were like an hour late for sure, but they still let us in.
Were you guys still
nice.
drunk?
We
So
were.
you guys-
The next day you were like, I think I'm still drunk.
I believe it.
Yeah, that's a quick turnaround. Ooh.
We went out night 1. What's wrong with us?
I knew I wanted to go out night 1.
Living it up.
I was like, I'm back in Europe. This is my element.
Starting off strong. Need to.
This is where I'm a degenerate the most.
And were you? Boy, were you.
Excuse me. You were just as much of a degenerate as I was.
The Italian guy. So European guys are like a little aggressive. Because the Italian
Very
guy,
forward.
Yeah.
I guess like at some point in the night, like I added him on Instagram. And he DM'd me the next day. He was like, hey, I tried to look for you again, but you were dancing with another guy.
It's
Was that
true.
the hinge guy?
Yeah. I was like, oh. And then he was saying like some other creepy stuff. So I don't know.
I don't know if it's safe for this podcast.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I was like, haha, I underestimated how strong your drinks are here in Italy. That was like my go-to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's how the conversation ended.
Until the next week.
Yeah, so like we went to Nag's Head again like the night before we came back home to the US. I saw him. I didn't like talk to him.
We also didn't like fully recognize him because you're
Yeah,
like, is that the guy?
yeah.
I was like, I don't think that's the guy.
But I was like, he kind of looks like a, but maybe it's not. But the day after, like the day we were gonna come back to the US, I guess he had DM'd me and he DM'd me and he was like, was that you last night? I opened it up, didn't say anything back. And then a couple minutes later, he said, what are you doing today? Let's hang out. Like I opened it up, again, didn't say anything back. And literally less than a minute, he like messaged me. He was like, I'm not joking.
Yo.
No, he says something like, I'm not playing.
Yeah,
It
something
was
like
like
that.
weird.
It was.
And then he like
Yo.
kept messaging you and I was like, you should just block him.
Yeah, and I did. Because it was like a little too much. He was cute though. Just kind of crazy. A little forward.
What happened after the tour?
Yeah, so we went to the Vatican. We prayed our sins away from the night before. And then we went out again to Nag's Head, the same bar we went to the night before. And that's when we did stay out till like 3:30 in the morning. And the Trevi Fountain was like 10 minutes away. So we walked to the Trevi Fountain. And it was great because it was 4 a.m. There was barely any people there.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of pictures and got to stare at the fountain. However, we also had to take a train the next morning at like, we had to be at the train station like at 9 a.m. or something. And it was 5 a.m. and we were still at like the Trevi Fountain. So we're like, we gotta go, like we gotta make it to the train. So we just go back to, maybe it was even earlier than 9 a.m. I think we had to be at the train at like 6 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
Dang.
And we were like leaving the Trevi Fountain like right around 5 a.m. and we had to go to our apartment, grab our bags, and go to the train station. Luckily, there was like a taxi just driving by, so we took the taxi.
I literally like 5, 6 in the morning.
Yeah, it was like 5 in the morning. It only cost €10. We're like, deal, take us to our apartment right now. We went up to the apartment. Everybody changed, and we just grabbed our bags and like walked out and went to the train station. So we did not sleep that night at all.
Ooh.
I mean, we slept on the train, I guess.
We slept
Some of
on
us
the
slept on the
train.
train, some of us did.
I
long
slept
was-
on the train.
I slept on the train.
How long was the train ride?
Was it like 3 hours?
At least.
Yeah, I think it was like 3 hours.
So we were going from Rome to the city called like Sorrento, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, we were going to take a ferry
To Minori.
to Minori, which is on the Amalfi Coast. So yeah, maybe like a 3-hour train ride and then like 45-minute ferry.
Yeah. It was just a lot of walking.
Yeah. So then luckily we were in Minori, and that's like a beach city. So we didn't have anything planned for the 2 days that we were there, which is perfect. We just laid out
We
in the
needed
sun.
that.
Yeah.
We went in the water.
We got sunburned.
Yeah, everybody got sunburnt. We bought some aloe. We ate seafood the entire time. It was
Nice.
incredible.
So good.
And it was chill. Like there was no bars to go out there, so we were safe for those 2 nights.
Okay.
You know, we weren't going crazy.
Was there a lot of tourists? At
Yeah,
that
there
place?
was still a lot of tourists there, but it wasn't like
It wasn't
super
as
crowded.
bad as Rome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I will say, like, when you go to the Amalfi Coast, the main cities that people go to are Positano or the Amalfi city itself. And I've heard that those cities are, like, super packed
Super
with
packed.
tourists. So I was glad we did not end up going to either of those cities because we're in Minori. It's a much smaller town. I'm sure there's, like, less things to do. But there's still plenty of restaurants, and we really just wanted to be at the beach.
Yeah, Minori's so beautiful. The water was so clear. It was blue. It was like, I want to go back there.
It wasn't overcrowded. We like paid for private like beach chairs and umbrellas while we were there, and they were like very affordable. So overall, a good time.
We met some pretty cool people. Like,
Did we meet anybody in Minori? Just the bartender, like
just the bartender
at the pool.
At the pool. Sam and Luciana were being little kids.
I
yeah,
took
just
some
see-
goggles, and so we were playing mermaids.
Yeah, those snaps were really funny.
And then they were bullying me because I didn't want to get in like the pool.
Yeah, honestly, the pool day was like the best part of that, and you didn't want to get in the water. It
I
was
know.
so
She had a
like
sprained
refreshing.
ankle.
It was refreshing, but I felt like I was just reading, and then I put my legs in the pool, and I was just talking to them. And they were like, just get in the pool. And that's when Sam was like, my dad said you have to get in the pool.
Your dad said you have to play with us.
Why didn't you want to get in?
I was just so relaxed, and I didn't want to get wet again. But I was like still hanging out with them.
Yeah, but it would have been funner in the pool.
Oh my god.
It was the main reason I feel like because you didn't want to get wet again. But like, it's not like we had anything else to do.
Yeah, I just didn't want to get wet again.
But for me, I
Oh.
took a change of clothes so like I could change out of my wet swimsuit afterwards.
So you
Nobody
guys like
else
went
did.
to the beach and then came back to the
And then
pool.
after the pool, I think
That-
we went to go
okay.
eat.
I don't think we went back to the apartment after the pool. So
Yeah.
if you were wet, you would have just been wet at dinner. Not
Soggy
me though,
rest.
because I packed a change of clothes.
Nice.
But yeah, then after that, we were 2 days in Minori. We actually hired a private driver to pick us up and drive us to Naples. We had heard stories that Naples is not a very safe city, and when we got there, we were like, we can see why. Like,
Oof.
there was graffiti everywhere. It smelled like pee everywhere, unfortunately.
It's like New York.
Yeah, it was like New York
Okay.
vibes. So,
If you've been to New York, you know how New York is, like especially like Times Square. It's just like it's not very like,
it's not clean.
it's not clean.
So how were the buildings there?
Like, no, I mean, like, what do you mean?
Was it
Like-
like modern?
Yeah,
or,
like
older
I mean,
buildings?
They were,
everything
like,
everywhere was
older,
old buildings.
yeah.
Right.
It was like kind of dirty, and there's like a lot of homeless people there. I feel like there's like a lot of refugees there. So
Is
I feel
Naples like on the coast?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Makes sense.
But the only reason we went to Naples was to go to Pompeii and Mount Vesuvius. So we did those. Mount Vesuvius was a literal hike, like
Oh my god.
a hike straight up a mountain the entire time. I'm actually happy we did it because I was like, it feels like I did a workout. The top of it was not exciting, really.
We were like, this is it.
This is it. Because when you look into the volcano, there's like grass and trees growing in there. And I was like, what? I wanted to see lava.
Yeah. And then like the museum itself, I mean, we were wanting to see like more of the people that like
Oh, when we went to Pompeii. So like Pompeii is separate from Mount Vesuvius.
Right.
Pompeii is like the ruins of the city of Pompeii.
Mm-hmm.
That one we actually did get a tour guide with like the headphones, and I think it was worth it for that one because other than if you didn't have a tour guide to explain stuff to you,
feel like we
you're
wouldn't
just
have
looking
no-
at ruins. Like just
Yeah.
like walls that are like decomposing and stuff like that. So it would have like not been as interesting.
Yeah.
So the tour guide was nice for that. We basically learned that Pompeii was like very horny city.
Yeah. Also, it was really hot this day too. Like the sun
Yeah.
was blazing, so everyone would try to find like a shade and like stand while the tour guide was saying whatever. The tour guide had an umbrella, so she was Gucci.
Yeah. So we're just hunting for shade, and I just glossed over the fact that it's a horny city.
I was gonna say, like, let's go back to the horny.
But one thing the tour guide pointed out is like there's a bunch of like
Dicks.
penis shapes carved throughout the city, and the penises point towards the brothel, so that people would know where the brothel was. And it was common for men to go to the brothel like every single day.
Whoa,
And
Men.
crazy.
and Pompeii was also like a city where a lot of like I don't know if Navy people went that were like traveling through, so they didn't always speak Italian, and so in the brothel they have paintings of different poses. Then you could point at which one you wanted to tell the worker that's what you wanted to do. So that was like the fun facts that we learned there, and all of like the souvenirs from Pompeii were also like sex related things.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, the city's just horny. All right.
Yeah. Like people were also like taking pictures like in the city of Pompeii, and like it was like cool Instagram poses, and I was like, and thinking about it now, I'm like, wow, this is kind of dark. Like you're just posing like on a city that was like they were all killed because of this lava.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the main reason we wanted to go to Pompeii, at least me, was to see like the people covered in like the
Right.
people preserved through the lava.
Yeah.
And there wasn't very many. Like
There was, like,
it
two.
It was at the very end. It was like a kind of like a museum AC building. It was a really small building, and there was like maybe it was more than 2 people. It was like maybe 4 people.
Okay.
So that was like cool to look at, but they're all in like glass containers to preserve them and stuff. So
One of them you can see hits pee-pee.
yeah, he had like a boner.
He
No,
was at the
it wasn't a
brothel.
boner.
Are you sure?
It was small. I mean,
I
you
thought
think
it was
someone's gonna
sticking
be
straight
hard
up.
at that time? Like,
Okay, it
ah.
wasn't-
They're like, I'm dying. I might as
It
well.
was just his
Right.
pee-pee then. It was also sad though because there was like a child.
Oh, there was
Aw.
one with like the kid on top.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the famous one? I feel like there's one where it's like
Probably.
the mom's holding the baby.
Yeah,
or something.
probably.
Sad.
So, yeah. Overall, I'm glad we went. If I go to Italy again, I probably will not go there again.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's like a one and done type thing.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
Probably same with the Vatican. Like, I don't know if I need to go there again.
like right. Unless you're a big art person or
Yeah.
religion person.
I would go to the Colosseum again. That was pretty cool.
The Coliseum was cool. It's also pretty like quick if you get your tickets like online.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. How long was that whole tour? Or did they let you guys just like wander around?
Yeah, we just
Visit?
wandered around. So we were there as long as we wanted.
Okay.
I did spit out some facts.
Yeah, she looked up facts for us and acted as our tour guide while we were there.
Okay.
Mm.
So that was pretty fun.
Well, that was that was fun.
Yep. Should I keep going on our trip? There's a whole nother city we didn't touch.
Hit it.
Yeah, keep going.
Oh gosh.
Firenze, Italia.
Yeah, so the last city we went to was Florence. So we were there for 4 nights. That was the longest. And we really didn't have much planned here. The first day we went to see the statue of David. That was pretty awesome. Like, it was way bigger than I thought it would be.
Get your own statue.
Yes, sir.
You see him every day.
It was huge, and also,
yeah.
also like all the things that I saw in Florence and Rome. I'm like pictures will never like make it justice. Like
Right.
it's like seeing it with your 2 eyes. It's like this is crazy. Like I'm
Yeah.
actually like watching this.
And I would take a picture of it. I'm like, it doesn't look good in the picture like
Yeah.
it does in real life.
I was like, the statue of David. It's huge.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, wow, someone actually made this. Like I always see this in like pictures on Google and stuff.
Right.
Mhm.
That is crazy to think
like
about.
a-
That someone was so precise to be able to sculpt
Uh-huh.
something like that. How big? Like how? What
Like-
would you compare it to?
I don't know.
Huge.
It's really big.
Jeez.
Like as tall as the house?
I would say as tall
Wow.
as a house.
No way.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
shoot.
pretty
Dang.
big.
Really
I did
big.
not know. Okay.
But
That's-
the butts on these statues.
Chiseled.
Whoa. Like they be doing squats for sure.
Yeah.
I just love a good firm butt.
I mean, it was the
That's
time before
firmest butt. It was
cars.
stone.
Time before cars. Everyone walked. Everyone had to be
I
They
fit.
were fit as
They
hell.
were. Oh my
In crappy
god.
old sandals. Heck.
He was. He was soft.
We've seen the pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's aware.
Yeah.
Um,
Just saying.
Flaccid, indeed.
other than that, like we had nothing really planned in Florence. At one day we went to like we went to
Winery.
a winery out just like in, what is it called?
Tuscany.
Well, yeah, in Tuscany. Florence is in Tuscany. But no, there's something with the C.
Chianti.
Chianti. Yeah.
Oh, like the wine.
Yeah, so that's where Chianti wine comes from. We went to like the area of Chianti and went to 2 wineries and got a tour. That was cool. But other than that, we had nothing planned in Florence. So what we decided to do was sleep in every day, pretty much until noon.
Oh, nice.
And then we would miss like the hottest part of the day. Then we
Oh,
would finally
yeah.
like get up, get ready. We would eat in our apartment. So we actually bought groceries and like had our first meal in the apartment to save some money. And then we would do like a big dinner out in the city. And then we would stay out all night until like 3 a.m.
Oh, that's a great plan, honestly. though.
Yeah. So like
Avoiding all the heat.
we're avoiding the
was
heat.
so hot.
And there were still plenty of people out at night. And like one of the big things in Florence that we saw was like the Duomo, which is like this beautiful building. And so we can definitely see the building at night. We weren't going
Right.
inside of it. They also have this bridge called Ponte Vecchio. And during the day, it has a bunch of shops, like gold, like jewelry places. So we did go during the day once. We did buy some gold bracelets.
Mm-hmm.
Who do we think we are?
Yeah, they were, I don't know what we were thinking. It was for the experience.
Right, saying you got that.
We were
in Italy.
high.
Plus,
High in the moment.
If you buy gold on Ponte Vecchio, it's good luck for life. So
No,
I was
well,
like, it's worth
Cash
it.
in on that. Hell
Yeah, I'm gotta get it ASAP, so I'm lucky for the rest of my life, and whatever. But it was a great time. I guess we could talk about going out in Florence.
I would say the clubs are not that great in Florence. Also, there's like a lot of study abroad kids, so there's like a lot much younger people. So what I feel like I would see is like a lot of college bars and clubs.
Yeah, like there was one called the Lion's Fountain, and it was definitely like a college bar. Like it had college jerseys hung up on the ceiling,
Like U.S. college.
like I saw an Ohio State jersey up there.
Uh-huh.
And it was full of college kids. And I mean, they were cheap drinks. I get why people go there. It was like a gross dive bar.
It was
It's
hot
like,
inside.
But you would expect from a college dive bar, honestly.
Did they have a Bullwinkles?
No Bullwinkles, but
Wouldn't you say?
Well, okay.
Like a vibe.
Like
so the other
I feel
club
like
we went
Bullwinkles
to,
is better. And then
Bullwinkles is better. Anyway, so there was this one club we went to kind of each night we went, just because all the other clubs seemed to be closed. Like we looked up clubs and they were like closed,
A
or
lot
they
of like Florence like clubs have closed down. I was watching Jersey Shore the other day when they went to like Italy and stayed in Florence. There was a lot of them that like aren't open anymore.
yeah.
Oh, you were looking specifically like, oh, let's go to the, yeah.
So the one we ended up going to was called Red Garter, and there's like a small dance floor, but it was packed with people. And so we were like standing like kind of by the exit because that's the only spot we could fit in. But if you went in further, they actually had like karaoke,
Oh, okay.
which we didn't realize until like the 3rd time that we went there. And I was like, oh, there's actually like a whole karaoke bar over here.
But also it was really tight in there too.
Yeah, like it was just crowded everywhere because it's like the only place to go. So
Right.
literally everyone that's young that wants to go out is at Red Garter.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's the season too. Like, I wonder if there's not as many students during the summer or something like that. I wonder if
Or
that place
maybe, I don't know. I mean, there was
Or if
plenty of
anything,
students
this
there.
this is like the time where there's like a lot of students because
Yeah.
it's summer here. So maybe they do like a summer study
Summer
abroad.
Yeah. But the second night we were at Red Garter, we weren't there for very long because Marisol and I went up to the bar to try to order drinks, and Elisiana and Emma stayed kind of like near the wall by the dance floor. And while we're like waiting to get the bartender to come to us, I hear like
A gag.
a gag and a splat. And I turn around and there's this like, it was like this group of frat boys, and one of them was just like yakking all over the floor. Not just like one time. Like I heard the splat, I turned around and he yaks again, and then he's like starts dancing on top of it. And then he starts
What?
yakking again. He yacked like a good 4 times, and it was so much liquid.
Oh.
And like I was about to throw up. Like I turned to her and I was like, I have to leave. Like I will throw up right now. And so I like ran out and I found Elisiana outside, and she's like, I had to leave too. Like I was gonna throw up. So I was like, I'm not going back in there. Like, we just have to go home now. And so eventually you and Emma came back out and we were like, let's just walk home.
Yeah. Because the whole place probably reeked like throw up the rest of the night.
Yes, I was like, we cannot stay there. No. And I'm surprised they didn't kick that dude out.
They didn't?
As far as I saw, they didn't.
Hilarious. He must be their best customer.
Yeah, I don't know. But that was rough. Never take me to Red Gardner ever again. Thank you.
It was just think of puke.
Does Florence have like a big school there?
I think so.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We met a girl that was doing a study abroad. She's from Florida. And she was doing like a 6-week study abroad program in Florence. And yeah, there must be a school there because she was there and she had like lots of classmates.
Mm-hmm.
We talked a lot about Italy. Let's talk a little bit about the food. What was your favorite meal the whole trip?
My favorite meal. Wait, can you go first? I know which one you're doing.
So you already know my favorite meal.
You go first. Let me think about mine.
My friend Lisbeth went to Italy last year and she recommended a specific restaurant to me called Trattoria Zaza. And I think it's like TikTok famous or something.
The Zaza?
Yeah,
Zaza.
Trattoria Zaza. They're known for their Florentine steak. So this was in Florence.
Ooh.
And we got like this huge steak. How many? It was like...
Think of 3/5.
More bigger than that.
Okay,
Who's
4/5. Yeah, like 4/5.
Yeah, the steak was like
Whoa.
4 fists big. So we ordered 2 of those to split between 4 people. And then we also got like a pesto fettuccine.
Carbonara.
And carbonara, pasta carbonara, spaghetti carbonara.
Mm-hmm.
Very delicious. We also got truffle french fries. So that whole meal was so good.
sounds
The best
so good.
thing I had the whole time. I'm also a steak girl. Like, I love a
Right.
good steak. And that was a great steak. I was like, after we were done eating, I was like, I transcended into another world while we were eating. Like, it was
So
incredible. And
That
it was
sounds
so
good.
full after that. But that was my favorite meal.
I had multiple like good meals. Like the carbonara at Zaza was really good. The steak was also good. I feel like I'm not a steak person, but like that steak was like delicious. When we were in Minori and we had that risotto with like octopus, I think that one was also really good. And I think that one by far has been my favorite. The risotto was delicious, and then the Alfredo bolognese, it's called bolognese sauce.
But a bolognese is normally a red sauce, no?
Yeah, when we went to like the first restaurant in Rome, I had like a pasta, fettuccine pasta.
Oh, you said Alfredo. That's why I was
sorry.
confused. Fettuccine bolognese. Yeah.
Bolognese. Yeah, that one's also my favorite. But Zaza had like delicious food.
And I feel like the cliche is Italy has a bunch of pizza and pasta, and it's accurate. We ate pizza like 5 times, and then pasta every other time.
The pizza we had in Naples, that one was really good too.
Yeah, definitely. It's funny because I guess pizza originated in Naples.
That's what I was thinking,
And
yeah.
so we were like, well, let's see what this pizza hits for. We just got a margarita pizza, so it's like sauce, cheese, basil.
But everyone gets their own, like, and it's
you
huge.
get your own
Oh,
pizza.
yeah.
It's pretty big, and I ate the whole thing. That
I
was
ate the whole thing too.
my favorite pizza when we were there, and I was like, well, it's fitting that it's from Naples.
And what is it? Is it like thin and then like it has like the char on it?
It's got thick
Yeah,
crust.
so
Yeah.
like the
but
crust
it's
on the
thick.
outside was thick and charred, but like the actual crust it was sitting
Thin.
on is thin.
Okay, right, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how I see it.
The
Dang,
cheese
that sounds good.
to die for.
Mozzarella.
It's like the pizza there is just way more fresh than pizza
Yeah.
here and
Yeah.
not greasy. So like when people ask like is pizza in Italy different, it's like, well, it's not going to be like your Domino's pizza, but if you went to like a nicer restaurant that served pizza here, it'd probably be pretty
They
similar.
Probably emulate that style.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, that was one thing that I loved about Europe was like everything just tasted fresher. I feel
Yeah.
like we do so much preservatives out here that it's like different. So
Yeah, and we would walk it all off, so
Yeah.
well earned.
We're doing like 15 to 20,000 steps a day.
yeah.
Whoa. And hot. So
And
you guys were
hot.
sweating.
Oh yeah, we were sweating too.
That's
Oh,
so funny because I feel like you don't sweat, or at least it seems like out here. So hearing you, so I'm like, yeah, take that.
when we went out in Florence to that
Red
pub.
Garter?
No, the
Oh,
pub.
Lion's Fountain.
Yeah. my shirt was like open back,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I just feel like my back is like wet. Like you can't see it, but if you touch it, it's like wet.
Right.
And I told Alicia, and I was like, can you just feel my back and tell me if it's like wet? She like put her finger and she was like, oh yeah. She said, it's sweaty. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, does it look like it's sweaty? And she was like, no. You look like you're glowing. So bad. If I could do anything different, I would buy one of those little electric fans. Just have it with me.
Even like a manual fan.
Yeah.
I would have taken my
We
rave.
took way too long to like get one.
Yeah, Luciana bought one like the last 2 days we were there, and we were like in the heat, like just all sharing this one fan.
That's so funny.
I should have taken my rave fan because those are huge and it's very effective.
It was so hot. But we survived.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You're here
So
today.
overall, great trip. Would return maybe in the spring when it's less hot.
Would
Right.
go. Oh, me and Sam talked about if we ever get pregnant, we would go for our baby moons.
Oh yeah. Because then we can just eat so much food.
Yeah.
What the hell
we
is
don't-
a baby moon?
It's a new thing. Like when you're pregnant, before you have the baby, you go on vacation to like take advantage of not having a
Not
baby
right
yet.
before, but before you're
You're
not
too far
able to
along,
travel.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right. What is the cutoff for that? Because I feel like
I
heard
don't know.
I don't
pregnant
know.
women. What is it? The fear that you'll pop in the air or what?
There's a lot.
And I
It's
mean-
blood clots.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
snap,
like
right.
you're just not recommended to travel in the airplanes after a certain point in
Because of
your
like
pregnancy.
the altitude and
Yeah.
pressure and stuff like
traveling,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
A lack of blood flow.
Oof.
But yeah,
Scary.
so for our baby moons, because we will get pregnant at the same time, of course, we'll go to Italy and
Same guy?
Well,
well,
maybe no.
no.
that's a new thing too, right now.
Same sperm donor.
Yeah, we could share a sperm donor. Sperm donor.
Sperm.
Sperm donor.
Okay, from the south, sperm donor.
Oh, should we talk about our experience on the train? Our fucking terrible coming back home.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So the way back home was so rough. Okay, so we went to Italy and we flew into Rome and we're flying out of Rome. Sorry, Oscar, are we boring you?
Yeah, it's good. How fucking
No.
rude.
He's over here
I just had to
yawning.
yawn. Had to let it out.
Next time you tell me about one of your Pokemons, I'm gonna
Oh,
yawn
yeah.
too.
Just kidding. Anyways, so we did Rome, we did Amalfi Coast, we did Naples, we did Florence. Then we had to head back to Rome from Florence to catch our returning flight. On the day that we had our train from Florence to Rome was apparently a train workers' strike. So literally like 90% of the trains were canceled,
Whoa.
including our train. So we
course.
didn't know that though until we get to the train station and the signs say like canceled, every train. So we started looking up like alternatives, like should we take a bus? We could even take a plane, but like it just isn't really feasible. And we were like, well, if they're canceled because of strikes, the trains, they should be able to like give us a new ticket without forcing us to pay. Like we confirmed that by talking to people and looking on the internet. We actually booked a second train. That one also ended up getting canceled. And then finally, like they announced that the train strike was supposed to be 24 hours, but because of like all the chaos it was causing, the government forced them to end it early. Thank God for us. So we were supposed to like leave like at 10 in the morning, and I think the train we finally got was like at 5 p.m.
Oh my gosh.
We were in the train station the entire time. The train station is like part outdoors, so it's like really hot in there too, and it's full of people because nobody knows their train is canceled until they get to the train station. So that people are constantly coming in, seeing their trains are canceled, trying to figure out what to do. It just keeps getting more and more crowded.
And the line to try to figure out what to do, long.
Yeah.
So like people would have to station wherever they are and would just have to wait.
Yeah, like different people took turns standing in line, and it was like 3 hours of standing in lines. But whatever, we made it work. There was a McDonald's there, so we
Had
got
McDonald's twice.
Yeah, we got McDonald's when we first got there, and then when we were gonna leave, we were hungry again, and the only option really is McDonald's or this like
Right.
other
Oh
cafe.
god, here's where it gets so bad.
Here's where it gets bad. So like, we finally get our train tickets. Our train is gonna come in like 30 minutes. So
Yeah.
we're like, let's go get food at McDonald's to eat on the train.
But it was just me and Sam at this point. Like we
Okay.
were like, okay, let's just we were gonna share like nuggets.
Yeah, we were gonna like share our meal basically. So we bought food for the both of us. We knew our train seats were next to each other or like across from each other. So we're like, this will work out. We get onto the train and there's two people sitting in both of our seats. And we're confused and we're looking at them and we're like, sorry, like I think these are our seats. And the one girl sitting in your seat was like, oh, well, like this is like my, I don't know if her boyfriend or whatever.
Yeah, like they were both with their significant others.
Yeah.
But me and Sam were supposed to sit across from each other. Not like next to each other, but across from each other.
Right.
Yeah, so it was like 4 seats. We had 2 of those 4, but the 4 were all
and they all
full.
faced each other, right?
Yeah, and so then the one girl was like, oh, well, I'm traveling with him and my seat is over there. Would you mind switching? She pointed to like a completely different row. And
I was like, no, me and my brother are sharing food. Okay,
no,
guys.
I don't even think you said we're sharing food. You said, no, we're sitting together and I need to sit there. Like, you were very direct.
But also,
you were
like,
there for hours.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we were like
I was there for hours. It's so hot. There's like no air conditioning in this train station, and people just keep showing up and it gets even hotter the more people that show up. And I had already been there for so long. I'm like, we had already bought food, so now I was like thinking we're gonna have to like she's gonna have to give me like half of the nuggets. Like I'm gonna have to figure out where this girl's supposed to be sitting. I was like, no. Like we're sitting, we have to sit. Like I said, no, we have to sit next to each other. Mm-hmm. I think I said something like that.
And then she kept asking.
And that's what was annoying is that the girl kept asking, like she wasn't understanding that we were together. Like
but she spoke English.
Yeah, like if I don't know, like it was so dumb. But I'm just like, if I know her and we're sitting next to each other, and those are our assigned seats, why would we not sit next to each other?
Right, like if it was 2 strangers.
If it was if I didn't know her, I would have just gone to sit somewhere else.
Yeah, and I'd be like, fine, I'll take your seat because I'm sitting by myself anyways. But I was like, no, we paid for these seats that are near each other, and we're gonna sit in them, and you're sitting in the wrong seat. I'm sorry, but you are.
Yeah,
and
they're
also,
like, we're traveling together. You're like, yeah, so
also,
are we.
You know there's a strike. This train is gonna be full,
like packed.
Like why are you only making
confusing it? People are gonna be like, "That's not your seat. Where's your ticket?" All that.
Yeah, and now we're like in the middle of the
aisle.
The aisle. There's people waiting on us, and I'm like, I'm not gonna have any of this. So, the girl on my seat finally gets up, and she goes to her seat. I get in. I'm in my seat, and then.
There's like a boy sitting in my seat, and I just stared at them. I was like, I think that's my seat. And it was him and the girl he was next to didn't say a word. They were just like staring at me, and I was like,
yeah.
Are you gonna get up? Like, what's going on? And then like they finally started to like get up, and so he could move. But like the way the tray table in front of him was, he like didn't fold it in, so he could barely stand, and so he kind of like fell backwards. So
he like slipped backwards.
Yeah, like he like
back
slipped
into
backwards,
a seat
back
or
into the
something.
seat.
Okay.
But his girl was like.
Yeah,
right.
And like then his like book was there and it almost fell or something, so you grabbed it to hand it back to him, and then like the girl was pissed and she snatched it out of your hand. Yeah, and she didn't say anything.
But like I was like, was that a snatch or was she like just trying to get the stuff fast? I was kind of confused, but I was like, I think that was a snatch.
It was definitely a snatch.
Dang.
And the thing is like. The guy's seat was just on the other side of the aisle. So he would have still been next to the girl. It was just on the other side of the aisle. So it's like, it's not that big of a deal for you to move. And whatever, I finally got in the seat. But this girl next to me was pissed the entire train ride. Like,
yeah, she
just like, cara de fuchi, like, the whole time. And I was like, girl.
Yeah. And I'm just like, if you're not going to sit on your seat, you can't be upset if whoever's sitting where you're not supposed to sit makes you move. Yeah. Because, like, that's how it works. That's how fucking life works.
That's how, like, public transit on trains works. It's, like, just a known thing because I've traveled on trains before. You have an assigned seat, but if you want to sit somewhere else and it's empty, go for it. But if that person shows up, they have the right to their seat.
Absolutely.
That's just how it works.
If it wasn't a strike day and this train would have been empty, me and Sam would have honestly just gone to wherever there was, like, 2 empty seats and would have sat there.
Yeah, but it was going to be a packed train regardless.
We was definitely going to be a packed train. This is going to Rome, and I just know, like, there's, like, a lot of people trying to get to Rome.
Yeah, so that was like a mess. That was the whole day lost pretty much because we were going to go to Rome and like go to the Spanish Steps and go see the Trevi Fountain during the day and like do a couple things. We didn't get to Rome until like 7-8 p.m. we had time to get dinner, and we took like quick naps, and we went to Nag's Head.
When in Rome.
When in Rome.
Literally.
Go to Nag's Head. Then that was all fine and dandy. Maybe we made out with more boys. Maybe we didn't. That you'll never know.
I don't kiss and tell.
Then the next day, we finally fly out of Italy. We were like, get me out of this country. I need to go.
I want my bed.
Yeah, the first flight fine was good. We played Tetris. It was broken because it kept saying I lost, but I didn't.
No, I won 3 times.
I was beating her by a lot.
You're such a sore loser.
I am a sore loser, but I know for a fact that I was doing better than you.
No.
Your screen
That's
was
not
like
what-
half full.
that's not what
and
the
mine
machine
was
was
at the bottom
saying.
the whole time. And I was like, I had more combos than you. It just didn't make sense why I was losing.
That's not what the machine was saying.
Anyways,
Was this on the plane?
this was Tetris on the plane, yeah.
We could play like as a
Oh,
group.
on like the seat? Or
Yeah, so
something?
like the seats had the remote controls and you could
That's
play
so
games
funny.
on it. You could
Uh-huh.
play with like other people on the plane. So we were playing the two like versus each other.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny until like it kept saying I lost when I didn't. Whatever.
Like, what? Hey.
Fine. Our flight is fine. We land in JFK. I turn on my phone and our flight from JFK to Columbus is canceled. And so we were like, oh no, what do we do? We go like
I
find.
was like, we were so close.
So
home.
close.
It was what, like 5 or 6?
It was like 6 p.m. And our flight, maybe it was like 5 p.m. Our flight was supposed to be like, we had like a 2.5-hour layover,
Right.
supposedly. But our flight was canceled. So we go find like the airline help desk that we needed.
This was
and
on the Friday.
This is on a Friday. And they tell us the next flight they can get us on is on Sunday.
Oh.
And
At
we were
like 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah. And we're like, well, would you give us like comps for like hotels or something? Like, so we can stay here until then. And they're like, no, we don't pay for that if it's like due to weather, which allegedly it was due to weather. I think the
Allegedly.
weather was fine.
Right.
We were like, well, I don't think we want to stay until Sunday. Let's reconvene as a group. So we were brainstorming. We're like, option 1, rental car. I'm down to pay whatever. I just want to get home. We can drive right
Yeah.
now. We go to all the rental car places. All of them are booked, or they don't have cars available for a one-way trip to Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
Next option, have someone pick us up. We actually had someone offer, but I was like, I can't have someone drive 8 hours here and then 8 hours back to Ohio. So we were like, no, I can't justify asking somebody to do that. So like, what's the next option? A bus. So we looked up Greyhound and we went with that option. We took a Greyhound from New York City to Columbus, Ohio. It was left like at 1:30 in the morning, and we did not get back to Columbus until 2 p.m. on Saturday.
Ugh.
We were so
Dang.
tired.
Rough.
We were traumatized.
The Greyhound, if you've ever been on a Greyhound, you know it's rough out there. If you
It
have
is
never
indeed
been on a
rough.
Greyhound, you can imagine it's rough. Like, there's just interesting people. At one stop, a homeless man did get on the bus and tried to like ride it with us. Luckily, the bus driver yelled at him and kicked him off. But it was just a whole experience, and it took way longer than we would have liked to get back home. But in the end, it ended up being good that we did, because the flight they were going to reschedule us on Sunday also ended up getting canceled. So, like, who knows when we would
Because
have
of
made
weather.
it back. Yeah, so they gave us a credit, Delta credit, that we can use on a future flight for, like, the next year.
Uh-huh.
We're planning to go to Peru, so
We could use
Yeah,
it
maybe
then.
we'll use it then.
Maybe instead
And
of 600, it's 500.
yeah. So, whatever. We made it work. We made it back. Healthy, alive, safe.
Barely.
Here now.
And now
Oh.
we're here.
The last night in Rome, too, I like tried to jump on Sam, and I twisted my right ankle.
The other one?
She
The other
twisted her
one.
other ankle.
But it was fine. It wasn't sprained. I think I just took a bad step.
How do your ankles feel now?
My left one's kind of sore. Like, sometimes when I move it weird, I feel it a little pain, but like,
You need to get like a brace or something.
no, that's okay. It'll heal.
Okay. It's been like over a week since we've been back.
It doesn't hurt. It's just sometimes when I take like a weird step or I bend it weird, it does like get a little tender. But I think it's fine.
Okay. If you say
Tender.
so. She works in a hospital, I believe her.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, that was a lot of our Italy trip. Anything else?
How about your guys' life? What'd you guys?
So what'd you guys do while we were gone?
Yeah.
David was traveling.
Yeah, I traveled. So I worked at these economics and leadership camps. So I actually got to go back to Ithaca, which is, I graduated from Cornell. So it was cool to be on campus. It was really weird though because North Campus is like where the freshmen stay, and there was like 3 brand new dorms, and so like what used to be just like fields were just like these brand new dorms. We got to stay in them, so I was like, oh, I guess it's cool. I get to get this like dorm experience for a week. They were really nice, I guess, but it was also really hot, so that was rough, and it gets muggy up in Ithaca, but. Yeah, I mean, the week went great. Had a great group of students. The staff I worked with was fun.
Any exciting meals?
Let's see.
Did you
The dining halls were like, it was a brand new dining hall as well. Toni Morrison Hall. So it was like, they're named after some of the newer alumni that are like more known. So that was cool. There was like a Ruth Gator Binsberg.
Bader Ginsburg.
Bingberg. I don't know.
Yeah.
She had a hall. That was cool. They would make these like udon noodles, like a little stir fry. No, actually, there was one where they made it with the broth, and that was like I always
Like
loved
in the
noodle
dining
days.
hall?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. No. They repeated a lot, and I guess it's fair. It was like the summertime. People are generally only there for a week, so different from like during the school year because Cornell has like a pretty good dining hall system. Actually, we do like these staff dinners. So we went to this one restaurant called Mix. And it's like a tapas Asian fusion. And I'd been there before in the past. On Valentine's Day, actually, once. That was nice. But
On a date?
well, with girlfriend at the time. So yeah, I guess a date. But
Did you get emotional going back?
I was like,
your heart hurt?
wow,
You
this
shed a tear.
Did you
pork
text her
belly's
back?
so good. I'm so alone. No.
Wow, that was played well.
I'm an
almost
actor,
believed
in
it.
case you forgot. It was very tasty. It was on the foundation dime, so I loved not having to pay for groceries for a week. And then the following week, we went to... Oh, no, that place was called Mia. The other place was called Mix. And I had been there before, too, but it was for like a frat date night thing. And so being there, actually sitting there... When I told the group I was with, they were like, wait... You guys pulled up like as a date night to here, and we're like, we rented out the whole thing. So I was like, there wasn't just random people like eating while we were like getting fucking hammered. So they're like, okay, that makes more sense. But I had like some short rib and like this red wine sauce. It was so good. I actually found a recipe on Facebook Reels, so maybe I'll make it one day if I ever decide to cook. But that's besides the point. Had a great week. I thought it was pretty funny that it lined up when you guys were gone. So I was like, hey, I won't miss them for that long. I'll be busy.
Yeah.
And then came back. Oscar picked me up from the airport. So that was cool. And then, yeah, just kind of chilled. Got back to the grind and missed you, I guess. I guess.
And Oscar was here all alone while we were all 3 gone.
You and me, both of us together.
What'd you do?
I wasn't alone. I was here with Luna and Shar. So cleaned up the house a bit. Work, took Luna to the dog park. Pretty much it.
Good life.
Yeah. Sherman and I cooked a lot.
Nice.
Very good.
Were you happy we were gone? You were
Yeah.
like, finally some peace and quiet, some alone time.
It was just different. Like, it was just like quiet. Like I would work, and then after, like, I'd clean up, and I'm like, well, I don't really have anything to do, so I'll just have a non-alcoholic beer and play some video games until I go to
A
bed.
non-alcoholic beer?
Yeah, I started drinking non-alcoholic beer.
That's disgusting.
It's pretty good.
Beer in general is gross, but I'm like, so now you're just drinking it for like nothing in return?
The flavor.
Yeah, the flavor.
Some people like the taste of beer.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Yeah, like I crave beer. Like, I'm like, I just want a cold beer.
Yeah. And then there's no guilt. So
Yeah. Because it's like, I can't just be drinking a can of beer like on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night, like every night in a row. So it's like non-alcoholic fixes the problem. I can drink it. I don't feel like shit. And I wake up feeling good, you know?
But you still got that little craving.
Exactly.
Nothing beats a weekday
Get that
beer.
taste. I got the Stella non-alcoholic. That one tastes exactly like the Stella Artois. Like, it tastes exactly the same.
Mhm.
Gross.
But I think I'm going to stick with the Budweiser Zero just because it's the cheapest.
Nice.
Don't yuck his yum.
Yeah, you're being a hater and a diva today.
I'm trying to make
What's wrong
healthier
with you?
And a diva
habits.
today.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about our travels. I apologize for taking up all the podcast today, but to bring it back to a conversation we can all participate in, we were thinking, when you have children and you still want to see the world, obviously, are you going to take your kids with you? Are you going to leave them at home with a babysitter? Are you only going to take them if they're a certain age? Kind of like, what are your thoughts on traveling with children?
I think that they have to be a certain age.
What age?
Ooh. I would say I would start as early as 6.
Okay.
But
like they're semi-conscious.
yeah, like they have to be able to walk on their own. Or
Okay, but
they're not coming.
They're still going to get tired when they're 6 and they're walking 20,000 steps a day.
So they gotta learn.
What?
You're gonna be in this family, you better learn how to walk.
That's not feasible, I don't think.
But I think the biggest factor, the deciding factor, is just like if I have enough money for them. Like if there's some things I want to do, like with me and my partner, like if we plan a trip and it works where it's just us two going, then I'm not gonna take the kids where it doesn't make sense. Like I don't have enough money to bring them, or
what would they get out of it? You
Yeah.
know, like that type of thing.
Where you're like, I'm not going to sacrifice my desire to go to this place just because I can't afford for all the kids to go too. Like,
Yeah.
I'll leave them back at home.
exactly
Right.
Yeah, I guess we didn't think the financial part. We were just thinking like the convenience part of like if it's worth it to travel with kids. Are they going to remember this? Are they going to appreciate it?
Because yeah, like I personally want to teach my kids to like walk, if that makes sense. Like I want them to just be able to walk everywhere, and so like I don't want to get a stroller.
You're gonna need a stroller eventually.
I don't know.
Children are,
No, like,
are still children. They
they're
can't
just
be
gonna
walking
get tired
for too long.
and stuff. It's
yeah,
a
but
whole thing.
there's alternatives. Like I don't need a stroller for everything.
Have you ever taken care of like a child?
I mean, yeah, I've taken care of kids growing up. I didn't have to carry, like I didn't have to take them anywhere.
Yeah, like
because
take
I'm
them
not a
places.
parent.
That's just like, it's a whole nother level.
Yeah, well, if they
But it's-
can't hang, then they're gonna have to wait till they're 8. If they can't hang again, they're gonna have to wait till they're 10.
So when
Sounds
you
like
go
Oscar's
to like
leaving them at home.
when you go to like Kings Island or I don't know, like Disneyland, you like are you thinking like you won't need a stroller?
No. I mean, in worst case, I'll carry them.
But what if they're like 8 years old?
An 8-year-old does not need need a
8 is
stroller.
too
Okay, 8 maybe. Okay, what
If
about
they're 4?
They're 5 years old.
4.
They're still big
Yeah, I'll
in
carry 'em.
size.
I'll put them on my shoulder, like when I go to the store and I'm buying dog food, I would just like walk around the store with the bag of dog food on my shoulder. That would be
Okay.
the
That's
kid.
like 10 minutes. I don't know. And logistically, it's like on paper that sounds great, but it's kids are. I think just having like a younger brother from such a disparity,
Yeah.
it's like
They're gonna get
It
tired.
sounds easy
and like
Yeah.
carry
but
them even
in
for longer
practice,
than 5 minutes.
they're going to be cranky. They're going to
Yeah.
be crying. They're going to be screaming.
now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like changing my answer. I'm like, damn, I don't know if I want to bring these damn kids around. Jeez.
But see, it's also like, where am I going? Like, if I'm going to Disneyland, then we're only planning to do what the kid can do. And if they can't do
Yeah.
any more, then we're going back.
Well, that's true. Like if I'm going to a place for the kids, obviously
Right.
it's
Yeah.
like the kids.
Yeah.
But let's say
You
like
go to Disneyland
But like, if
without
I'm
your
going to the Grand Canyon,
It's a different
like,
ball game.
yeah, like the kids
Yeah.
staying at the campground,
well, that's what we mean.
or they're
So,
not
like,
coming at all.
Because we were in Italy, we saw families there, and like, some of the situations, like at the train station when everything's getting canceled,
Oh,
a
yeah.
family walks in and like there's 2 little kids, and they're like, "What's going on? Can we get on our train?" And the dad's freaking out because it's canceled. The mom's like, "Just stay here. We'll figure it out."
Yeah.
It's just like a mess of what we saw, and I was like, dang, I can't imagine like traveling with children. Like we're already frustrated ourselves, and then imagine trying to like handle the child while you're frustrated. The child's getting frustrated, and you can't like do
Yeah.
anything about it.
Yeah.
But see, it's also like hard to like kind of gauge, because I don't know like what my kid would be like at 6 years
Yeah,
old.
Yeah.
I haven't met my
exactly.
kids yet. I don't
Yeah.
know what they're gonna want to be like, want
Like,
to do,
There's some
or be
chill
like.
kids and there's some not so chill
Yeah,
kids.
exactly.
I wouldn't mind traveling with my kids if I had like my parents coming with me. Like if I had extra help with
Like
me.
if you could share the responsibility. A little
Yeah.
bit.
Because traveling with kids, honestly, when my brother and sister-in-law bring their kids for like a restaurant in the U.S. and or like wherever we live, it's tough
Yeah.
But normally they can do it with like my parents and like us there. So like I would only travel. So I can only imagine like traveling to a different country. It would be like 10 times worse. So I would need like my parents or like extra like other family members helping.
Mm-hmm. And it's nice because they're like, you're with this kid all the time, so you get frustrated. You have a shorter fuse, and they're like one person removed, so they can kind of have a little more patience with them.
Yeah.
And sometimes that is nice to be like, okay, I need to take a step back.
And like if they're your family too, like they're happy to help too.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially
If
grandparents.
everyone gets a little bit time of this child, no one will get annoyed of them.
Right. Unless you have a really annoying kid. I really hope I have a chill kid, because some kids,
Yeah. I think it very much depends where I'm traveling to. If I want to go to Europe, maybe I will only take them if they're in high school,
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're gonna really value and
like
and
remember it and
Yeah.
stuff like that. We saw like children in Europe that were like there on vacation, and I was like, I don't even think they're gonna remember this. Even if you're like 10 years old, like I'm still gonna forget.
Right.
But if it's somewhere like Mexico, I have family in Mexico that also can help me while I'm there. So like I would take kids there. Somewhere
sure.
like Disney World, I'm only gonna go there if I have a child to take. Like I don't really seek out going to Disney on my own.
You're not a Disney adult?
No, unfortunately, or fortunately not.
Fortunately for your wallet, because it is not cheap.
And for the cringiness of it.
Yeah,
Thank goodness
I was gonna
I'm not a
say.
Disney
Fair
adult.
enough. Yeah.
Niagara Falls, like my parents took us to Niagara Falls all the time. Like I guess stuff you can drive to, like I would do, even though I guess I hate road trips though. So I don't know. But imagine flying with a child.
Rough.
Yeah, it's a hit or a miss.
On the way back from Italy, there was like a child sitting behind me, and she was like constantly kicking my seat.
That does suck.
Bad parenting.
Yep.
See, for
Well,
me,
I don't know.
Sometimes
I
it's
guess I
like-
shouldn't say.
it's
Yeah,
just
I
like
feel like
kids
it's
like having a
tough.
tantrum, or their ears are popping. They don't know what that sensation is. Like, it's really bad. Flying with kids can be
Yeah.
rough.
I think the only way I would take my kids, like children, is like if my family's planning to go on a family vacation.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna plan for me and my significant other to go on vacation and bring our kids, because I'm like, well, we're not gonna get help, and also, are they gonna get anything out of this? But if it's like a family vacation, I feel like those memories stick.
Yeah. And also, like, if it's just you and your spouse and your kids, is it really a vacation for you? You're
Right.
kind of watching them the whole time.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I would say though, I did value a lot. Like my dad loved to travel, and like my mom is kind of like, she's never the planner, but she's like such an easygoing, like they're like such a good balance for each other. I feel like my dad's like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, and I was like, yeah, that sounds great. And then she'll be like the one kind of wrangling all the kids up and stuff. And yeah, I mean, it's like we traveled a lot, like, domestically, but also we used to drive to Mexico. So that was like a 3-day trip there and back. And then we would stay for like 2 or 3 weeks. So like for sure, I mean, if you're gone a month, definitely got to bring the kids.
Yeah.
You're not going to leave them at the kennel. But I don't know. I think I always think of myself as a very chill kid. I think I was very easy for my parents. I was pretty go with the flow. And Sadi was a little tougher, my sister. But she could roll with the punches. So I think my parents just got lucky in that sense where they could travel with us. I actually personally loved the 3-day trips because it was an excuse for us to like play my Game Boy for 3 days, and they couldn't yell at me because like if I wasn't doing that, I was just complaining.
Yeah.
So they were like, yeah, do whatever. I remember getting my first MP3 player, game changer. So yeah, I mean, I think it instilled like a strong desire for like travel in me. So I can't tell you like everything that we did on all our trips, but I'm like, oh damn, it is kind of cool to be like, I remember being 11 and like we were in Las Vegas or we were in the Grand Canyon. So I think, yeah, you just got to go into that with like the mindset of, all right, what can I do with my kids?
Yeah.
And yeah, like what you said, I think it really depends on the kid. Like when I was in Spain, my family came to visit, but it was just my mom, my dad, and my sister. And then my younger brother, like there's like a 15-year age gap between us. So he was younger, and he also just doesn't love to travel. Like it's just like not his thing for the most part. And so they were like, yeah, if we took him, it would be like tough.
Yeah.
So, and he was happy to stay with like my grandparents for whatever, like the week or two that they came, or whoever helps out. So having the help is great. I think it really just depends on the kid and the context. But
the kid, the destination, and all that.
On paper, I would love to be a traveling family. Yeah, like of course, maybe every other year, couple years, do like a couples trip with your partner, because I'm sure that's like refreshing and much needed in a long marriage. Hopefully that is my situation, but yeah, I would love to be a traveling family again if the funds are there, if you can get the right vacation time and all that stuff. So
I feel like one kid would be doable, but like 2 kids, like that's. I feel like one kid is already like hard because you gotta bring the stroller, you gotta bring the car seat, you gotta bring all this. But like, imagine if you have like 2 kids who are under like the age of 2.
Yeah, when they're
so
that
close,
young, that's hard.
that is rough.
Yeah,
you kind of just like gotta be like, I'm not vacationing.
Yeah,
for
until like they're a little bit older.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because our family is 4 kids, and I mean, our vacations would be like Myrtle Beach or Niagara Falls, and it definitely was like, I don't think there was no one was a baby when we went on those trips.
Right.
Like the youngest would have been Isabella. Maybe she was like.
But sometimes people like have to like go to like weddings or something, and they have to like travel out, or like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do see people like traveling with like babies. I'm sure they don't want to like go wherever they're going. I think they just like have something planned.
Obligations. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, some people do travel with their babies because they want to travel. Yeah. I don't know about that.
Some people, I do some of those like vlogs where they do go to like the canyon, like mountains places, and they're with their kids.
Like the kids are on their pack while they're hiking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw one lady, like she had one on the back and one in the front, and the toddler kid was in the front.
Balance. Imagine you fall walking up the Grand
Canyon. Well, that's the thing. You got to be careful. Like now your child's literally carrying them on your back.
Imagine you roll your ankle and then it's not just the kids. One of the parents is also just out of commission.
Yeah.
Oh, that's rough.
But now that I think about it, when we went to Myrtle Beach, it was just my parents, and then we also brought along David. So we brought along even more kids.
Yeah, such a fun trip though.
But you guys were older.
Well, like
I was early high school, I think.
You think?
Oh,
you think it was? I thought it was like middle school, maybe. Leo would have been like in 4th grade.
Okay.
Maybe. Oh, I guess I don't know how old we were when. Yeah,
maybe it was like late middle school.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
What about your sister?
Leo threw up in the pool.
I wonder why.
He would.
I wonder why. You know exactly why.
Okay, maybe I almost drowned Leo and he couldn't have been a podcast guest. Maybe. We were playing shark. I don't know what to tell you.
Leo was the shark. David punched him under the water. And then
Why'd you punch him?
No, not like a hard punch. It looked like a fist, but then he just put his hand on Leo's head and pushed him down a little. And
but I think the water shot up his nose or something.
Like Leo swallowed a bunch of water.
And he threw up?
Dude.
So then he was like coughing when he came up, and then he threw up.
Well, it was funny. It was like, Leo, go to the edge. And so he like was sitting on the ledge, and you could tell he was about to throw up. And we were still in the pool.
Outside the pool. Like, go to the ledge so you can throw up outside the pool.
And he just goes, and turns his head to the side into the pool and throws up in the pool. Yeah. So we're like, oh.
So then we got out, and I go find a lifeguard. I was like, somebody threw up in that pool over there.
We're like the only kids in the
pool. And we just walked away, went to like a different pool.
What a Leo thing to do.
I did feel bad. It's like one of those things where it's like, you can hit me back. Don't tell your mom.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that she brought me. I don't want her to be like, dang.
Nah,
he's over here beating on my kid.
It was fine.
It was funny after the
mostly just because he swallowed a bunch of water.
Yeah. But it's one of those things as a kid, you're like, fuck, I fucked up. I fucked up, dude.
Sometimes I would play with my brother and his friends, and my mom, like every time I would get hurt, I would go tell her, and she would be like, if you're not willing to get hurt playing with them, then don't play with them.
Damn.
And you know what? She was right.
Wait, that was with you and who?
Like my brother and his friends.
Well, I was that cousin too. With like my dad's side of the family, like Saul Montana and them. Our parents will always joke around. They're like, yeah, we would all come hang out at my house, and they'd get there. They'd all go into my room, and then in 10 minutes later, one would come out crying. David did this, David did that. And I'm like, I was a bully.
And so their parents would tell them, well, don't play with David.
They would say that, like, ¿Pa qué juegan así? And then they cry, and then they get over it, and then
They'd go back.
I feel bad because I'm like, damn, I fucked up. And then we play nice, and it's fine. Until the next time they come over, and then it's reset.
We have to, one day, maybe not today, we got to talk about Crazy Lady in the Closet.
Yes, that was a time.
It was the best game ever.
I'm scared.
We should play it here. No.
We could.
That's a good closet right there.
It's a fun game.
The dumb stuff we came up with. It was great having a lot of cousins, though.
Yeah.
Bless.
Oh, well, actually, that made me think of another thing. So, well, today's Sunday. Just yesterday and Friday, me and Oscar went to Chicago to a quinceañera for my dad's side of the family. And I would say, like, we're not very close with my dad's side of the family. Like, we just don't live near them. Everyone's kind of spread out. They're all, like, a lot older than us, too, like, our cousins, because my dad is the youngest of 10 children. So we're just not super close with them, but we were invited to this quince for my dad's side of the family, and it was kind of like a big family reunion for us because we met a lot of people that we didn't know or haven't seen in years.
Yeah.
We didn't know exactly how they were related to us. We just like knew of them. So that was pretty cool, but we did, after like each person we met, my mom would explain how we knew them, and we decided to try to count like the number of grandkids that my dad's mom had.
Yeah.
So on my mom's side of the family, there's 10 kids. Like my grandparents had 10 kids on my mom's side of the family, and then my grandparents on my dad's side of the family also had 10 kids.
Okay.
And on my mom's side of the family,
And they were neighbors. That's
yes,
crazy.
and my parents were neighbors growing up. That's how they met and
That's
started
so funny.
dating, which is pretty cool. But David's from my mom's side of the family.
Yeah.
And on that side, there's 24 grandkids, I believe, maybe 25.
Between 24 and 26. I'm not sure
Yeah,
either.
somewhere around there. And then on my dad's side of the family, we counted, and there's 50 grandkids.
Whoa.
So that's more
57.
than double. 50. 50 grandkids.
What'd you say?
She said 57. I don't know where that came from.
I don't know.
But that's like pretty wild.
That is crazy.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So I was just like, just the comparison, like obviously 10 children on both sides of the grandparents is a ton. And then the one side just really popped off with having kids, like
Literally.
my dad's side.
Well, I'm thankful that you got close to our side of the family. Because imagine trying to balance 75 cousins.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Golly.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
But like we were saying, I mean, my dad's the youngest of the 10, so a lot of my cousins on that side are older than us, and they all have their own kids. And even some of their kids are already starting to have kids.
Right. Dang.
So, yeah, we're like not even that close in age to a lot of the cousins on my dad's side, and we're closer in age to like their children. So, like, we're more closer with the children of the cousins.
Right.
Your grandma, does she already have like bisnietos?
Yes.
Right?
Like
great-grandchildren.
great-grandkids?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4 great grandkids
Yeah.
on my mom's side. Like that my grandma has. But yeah. And then my dad's side, there's like great grandkids.
Whoa, yeah.
But my dad's mom is not alive anymore, so she's not living to see them all. But yeah, so it's just pretty crazy to put that into perspective of like how big our family is.
Yeah, you tell people here, like Americans, like, oh, I have 25 whatever cousins, and they're like, whoa, that's a big family.
Yeah.
And like I have 10 aunts or uncles or whatever, but that's double.
Yeah.
So wow.
So pretty cool. Just wanted to share that little fun
Tidbit.
fact.
We love that.
But yeah.
How many grandkids does my grandma have? On my mom's side, there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10. And
Should get them numbers
on
up.
my
No, I'm
on my grandma's side, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that's it. Yeah, there's not that many.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't thought about counting the other side, but it's probably in that ballpark of like 15
50 is
to
a lot.
25.
50 is a lot.
And did I not know about contraception?
Well, they were like from the time where you just have a lot of kids.
To help
Like-
you out on the farm. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
or
In
wherever.
the
Like
rancho.
my dad's oldest sibling is like the age of my grandma.
Oh. Damn.
So like, yeah, like my dad's mom had him when she was 46, I think.
Whoa, that's crazy.
So, yeah, they're from like a whole different generation.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. So like the oldest 3 kids on my dad's side, I think they had 10 kids, 9 kids, and 8 kids, like respectively. So that's where a bulk of them come from. It's just from 3 people.
Dang. I'm trying to get like them. Jeez.
But yeah,
Crazy.
crazy stuff. Different times. I will not be having that many kids. Maybe I will, but probably not.
I used to always joke I wanted 12.
Yeah, I used to always say like I want
used to-
10 kids, just like my mom's
I
family.
never said that. I
And-
said 4.
People would be
wild.
like, good luck finding a girl who's going to want to have 12 kids. I was like, I never said they were all going to be the same baby mama.
Oh my
And they would
god.
laugh. I'm like,
And on that note,
Get them done
thanks
at the same
everyone for
time.
listening.
Get it all done at once.
shoot. Yeah.
12 different baby mamas. They're all the
Exactly.
same age.
I'm trying to step into my Nick Cannon era.
Oh my gosh. Nick Cannon got lucky. He had like twins and stuff. That's also how it multiplied so quickly.
You call that lucky?
well, not, I
Jeez.
mean, lucky because he wants to have a lot of kids.
That's true, yeah.
Lucky for him, but crazy
Yeah.
from an
I wonder
outsider.
how much he pays for all his kids, like child support.
Too much. I'm sure.
He's got the money, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
but
He's got
then he
America's
can
Got
never
Talent money.
retire. He's gonna have to keep working till the last one turns 18.
He's going to keep pumping too. You know him.
Oh gosh.
I'm like, at some time you gotta stop.
That's why they call him Cannon, bro.
Bruh.
He is not shooting blanks. I tell you what.
Someone please end the pod.
I think it's time for me to go to bed.
I want to go home.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening. This will be an extra long episode, but we just had to tell our tales of Italy.
Fill you in on the travels.
Yep. This has been Eating Good. I'm Oscar.
I'm David.
I'm Sam.
I'm Marisol.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Eating Good Pod. And we'll catch y'all next week.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Ciao.
Arrivederci.